The Big Talk with Kanari Mugume every Saturday, 9 to 11 a.m. only on Next Radio.
106.1 Next Radio. This is The Big Talk. Welcome all of you listening and watching in Uganda and around the world. We are live on NBS television, and I want to say congratulations to NBS for making 18 years. As we speak right now, there's, of course, a couple of, news stories, I should say, that do looked in a couple of days leading to this weekend. A lot of things have been done, especially around Parliament. Now, where do I begin? The recent arrests around Parliament, it was a swift high-profile operation conducted on the July 2nd by the IGG. Several senior officials from Parliament were detained on serious charges, including embezzlement of public funds, money laundering, and causing financial loss. The group, numbering about 7 or 8, depending on, what we are, picking, was produced in the anti-corruption court in Nakasero and remanded to Zura prison until the 7th of July. One of the suspects was admitted to hospital during the process. Now, the arrests centered on the alleged mismanagement of diversion of funds from the Uganda Parliamentary Cooperative Savings and Credit Society, with the total sums involved reporting to 30 billion shillings across the period of 2023 through to May 2026. These include the Director of Communications and Public Affairs, Chris Obore, who faces accusations of involvement of over 5 billion shillings. Alongside him is the Director of Human Resource, Daniel Adilo, linked to the largest single alleged amount of roughly 14.6 billion shillings. Executive Secretary in the Office of the Speaker, Leonard Okema, is said to have been involved with about 3.5 billion shillings. The Principal Research Officer, Rajab Kaya Semalulu, stands accused in connection with over 2 billion shillings. The Principal Protocol Officer, Emmanuel Okwi Emron, faces claims relating to around 1.1 billion shillings. The Capacity Development Officer, Vincent Otebata, is tied to sums near 5 billion shillings, while the Personal Assistant, Stella Itute, is connected to 75 million shillings. Completing the list is the Executive Office of the SAC of the Parliamentary Group Methods Mrebe. Accounts describe how funds were allegedly shared among the group in what left some individuals departing with substantial cash holdings. Is the cracking of the whip on the corrupt finally closing in? Joining us on the show is Honorable Anthony Okol. Honorable, good to have you on the Big Talk one more time.
Let me first of all congratulate the NBS for making 18 years. It is not simple. Most businesses in Uganda, they close in the first 1 year. Many of them, they close before making 5 years. So if you made 18 years, you've done wonderful. And you should clap for yourself.
Thank you.
And feel happy about it.
Thank you so much.
The 1995 Constitution, the framers were very, very serious people. Because in the national objectives, they even used the word must. They said the state must eradicate corruption. The state must eradicate abuse of authority and abuse of office by political leaders and public officers who are in office. But also when you look at the Constitution again, the whole of chapter 13 and 14 talks about corruption. Especially when you go to 225. It still emphasizes that there must be real fight to eradicate corruption, abuse of office, and abuse of authority. Now, 230 there gives a lot of authority to IGG, especially in terms of investigation or causing investigation, in terms of arrest or causing arrest, in terms of prosecution or causing prosecution. So you realize some members who are in public offices, we are vulnerable to this law because the country knew that if there is corruption which is not fought, then we will have a problem in terms of service delivery. The health centers will be affected, the roads, things like schools, generally services. And therefore, there is no way somebody can condone corruption in Uganda. But also, something needs to be said. I think I quote what the late Right Honorable Speaker Jacob Olanya said, that if we say, like in the Bible, that he who thinks you are completely clean, you should pick the stone to throw on the lady who was found of adultery, and nobody could throw the stone. I personally know two situations where I was involved in corruption. One of the situations, I was recruited in 2005. So in the process of interview, they asked me, do you have a driving permit? I said yes, because I needed a job. So they told me, can you produce a driving permit? I said, I left at home, you did not inform me. Now they recruited me. And then after 3 months of work, there was exchange of the managers now. I was posted to Kenya. The manager of Kenya was sent to Tanzania. The manager of Tanzania was sent to, what is this country? Sierra Leone. And the manager of Sierra Leone was sent to Uganda. Now, serving in Thika for 3 months, I was supposed to now come back to my workstation. I didn't know they were giving me a vehicle. They gave me a vehicle to drive to Uganda. Unfortunately, I did not know how to drive completely. But fortunately, there was a white lady who really got interested in how I do my work and wanted to work in Uganda. We agreed with her, she will drive halfway and then I will finish.
How will you finish when you don't know how to drive?
So as she was driving, I was seeing how she is driving, and good enough, it was automatic. Where she was tired, I took over the driving. And I started slowly, very well, and then she told me, Anthony, please increase. How are we going to reach Uganda in this speed? Now I went to 120. From nowhere, we saw a police, and he started saying, police, police, police. Instead of stepping the brake, I stepped accelerator. Now I was about to knock the police. After stopping, the immediate thing they wanted was my driving permit. So I started calling my room in Thika that is left there. We call Uganda. Oh, it's not there. Now they demanded money. The money was about 300,000 Uganda shilling, if you change to Uganda shilling. The lady said, I don't pay bribe. I don't pay bribe. Because she's from Britain. Now, finally, they said, okay, if that's the case, they removed the key, they uncuffed me, and they told the lady, pick your bag, you don't have a problem. That's the point where we had to bribe the police to come to Uganda. We drove from Kenya up to the border of Uganda without speaking. The lady was tired. Her color was changed until she said, Anthony, please drive. This is Uganda. If you're arrested here, I don't mind. I drove from there to Kampala. From that time, I started driving up to now. That was involved in corruption. The second situation where I was involved, my sister got an accident in Kampala. I was in Gulu. I was called. She is sick. She has a broken leg. She's been taken to Mulago. I took her on a bus from Kampala to Mulago Hospital. To arrive in the hospital, the floor is crowded, and the doctors and the nurses cannot work on all the patients. They are running here and there until you're given something. That is when your patient is worked on. I had to pay 50,000. So I am confessing that some situations cause people to get into corruption when it is not supposed to be. Now, when you ask me, what is happening in Parliament? The scene is bad. The scene in Parliament is bad. So yesterday I interacted with somebody I cannot reveal to ask, what is it? What caused all this money? What was the problem? The person reminded me, when we had a meeting in Gulu during campaign, actually about 4 days to campaign, the president went to campaign in Gulu, and the whole of that activity of about 8 I think 8,000 or plus people. The people who are paying 100,000 for every person from grassroots leaders were these staff arrested. And he told me, do you know what? Part of this money was used for the campaign. So the question is it what is happening in many institutions whereby during campaign some monies are removed and used for campaign?
Okay.
Are they vulnerable because of that?
Let me understand this.
Is it the corrupt officers who are supposed to be taken seriously? Because I don't condone it. Personally, I don't say what they did, because first of all, they have not yet been what?
I hear you, Honorable.
They are still suspect.
I hear, Honorable. So these officers in Parliament, the Director of Communications and Public Affairs, Chris Obore, involvement, accusations of involvement with over 5 billion shillings. Alongside him is the Director of Human Resource. All this money. No. Please, hear me very well. I don't have a proof of what I'm talking about. I am just telling you a casual talk with somebody yesterday. I'm just saying. So, is it possible that this money was used for campaigns?
I am not their advocate. I am not saying they are not wrong. They are subject to their investigation, the prosecutors.
But you're saying that there's a rumor that this money was used
part
for
of the money
campaigns for President Museveni.
That's what he said. So it's really bad if that is the case. But also, why do you accept to be involved in such a thing? If it is true, why do you accept to be involved? At the end of the day, you are vulnerable. And we have seen cases in Uganda where there are people accused and sometimes they are released, there are others prosecuted, others are left out. I think if there is a process to be done, we should ask ourselves, how was this money processed? Who are the people who are approved for the money to be transferred to this account? You know, I come from finance background. The whole process before you receive the money, the staff, there must be requisition. The requisition must be approved before the transfer is made. Who are those approving the money?
But let me ask.
Those are issues of concern that he has to go all the way the investigation to handle all those other processes.
Joining us on the show is Honorable Barnabas Tinkasimire. Good to have you on the show, Honorable.
Thank you, Canary. And nice to have my honorable colleague here, Honorable Cole, the tallest man from actually.
That is not true. I'm not the tallest. There are other people taller than me.
So far, they because I measured myself.
The one you've seen.
No, I measured myself from here. I was looking like this.
Honorable Tinkasimire, many asking that why are we sacrificing guinea pigs? Because the big fish is still at large.
Of course, you know, in Uganda, the fight against corruption must be minimized, not to reach the toppest commander of corruption. And when you start hearing what he was speaking, that money is used in a campaign. It's a campaign. Chris Obore never stood, and his colleagues, none of them stood in any election. Whose campaign? I want to confirm what he has just said, that indeed money is used in campaigns. One civil servant, whom I will not mention his name because he has never been arrested, even when they discovered that he had huge amounts of money, towards the $700 million US on his account. During campaigns, he would run to the brother of the president and tell Muzeyi not to mind about Ergon region. I am with the businesses I am doing, I have saved some money. I want to make sure that NRM stays in power, and we want him in power. And I am going to spend some money. And candidly, he would say, my stake is this. This is what I am offering. And the message would reach to the president, because indeed, if somebody is offering to finance your campaign, you are in a campaign, so you will say carry on. And that's all that you need during election time, is to win, not to ask where the money came from. Those questions come after the election, if anyway you are bothered. And indeed, this guy would spend the money, and the story is as short as that even when they discovered that he had stolen a lot of money, and even discovered some of the balances on his account, he was never touched. And even up to this time, he's doing his personal businesses. The only thing they told him, you are losing the job, because his agency was rationalized.
Yes, but I hear you. But I think the question I'm asking here is, what this money is being used for, for all political reasons and all. Why is it that the ones being accused, the ones in front of our faces, the ones that we suspect could have used this money, are still at large?
Of course, when we say the institution in this country are working on directives, if they say investigate so and so, after they have finished the investigations, they will ask, the report is here, sir. What do I do? We will say, this one, take to court. This one, first wait. And first wait, and that's it. You will not ask why they are choosing to take some people to court and the others are staying. They will say, first wait, we are still investigating. Because they will even quote some other things. You see, we heard in the case of the MPs, now IGG, is it DPP is stuck? He's withdrawing charges against them. Now, my lord, she's called Wangaria. She's now returning to the public court.
Wangadia.
To say, I got thieves, they have said they have no case, and me, I have evidence here. She's threatening to return to the public court. I would do.
What do you think is happening? What do you think is happening in between there? Because there was a lot of public humiliation of Anita Among, and now these officers are accused of cases related to the office of Anita Among.
You know, you are asking a person a question who has ever worked in public service, and who has had also the privilege to be a politician. If you are a smart politician, you can escape all these things. You can escape all of them, because the money is handled by technical people. It is to just tell them withdraw, because it is for your facilitation. They will certainly bring it. They will not ask you to sign. I will not sign. Sign for what? Sign for what? You are the one who made the requisition. Boss is going to do ABCD. Is going to do ABCD. You have received the money, deliver the money to me, and that's it. If I have to give you a kickback, I give you. I give you and I go away. That's how politicians in this country get off the hook. You will find a smart politician in a ministry, who is maybe minister, is the biggest thief, followed maybe by the PS, but they will not get to those people. Particularly the minister, they will get to the PS. So
is it to say that
the technical people?
Is it to say that they are smart, or the state?
No, the nature of work that they do,
the state fears,
makes them vulnerable, because they are the ones mandated by law to carry such to do activities related to money. To money, they are the ones who manage work plans. They are the ones who manage budgets. A politician manages a policy. We normally, there is in a public administration, there is something they call hands-on, hands off. I mean, hands on. Eyes on, hands off. That principle. The hands of the technical is on, but the eyes of the hands of the politician are off. You get me? So when the hands of the politician are off, it becomes very difficult to trace him. Even when you investigate, you will need a video, and they are very bright. You will not bring money to them where there is a camera. They are very bright. It is only Justice Wangadi who attempted to record MPs. They are very, very intelligent. Me, I worked under them as an accounting officer. It's not that easy to catch a politician.
Okay.
And this is what we are seeing. Because you have...
there's been, of course, a cracking of a whip around the Ministry of Works officials. Now we see Parliament. Do you think that NRM government is finally closing in? Do you have a feeling that finally corruption is being dealt with?
No, because now I'm glad you have talked about Minister of Works. Do you want to tell me that all that money was eaten by Bagaya, is called Bagaya, the PAs and the engineers? Even the ministers ate. But have you seen any minister charged? Those billions are too many. There is no technical person who can dare risk. I know they are good risk takers. To carry those billions without carrying some billions to the minister.
So how do you explain that the ministers are smart and the permanent secretary is not?
No, I have already told you the job that they do as technical people puts them at risk. Even the politician will say, okay, this money is, you have collected it like this. Bring it here. They will bring it. You who actually requisitioned for the money, they will give you 2 billion. The permanent secretary will take 4 billion. The minister will take 5 billion or even 7. The one whom accountability will never even look for. Then this engineer will die to look for certificates of completion, will forge accountabilities, and that's where he will be arrested, because the money was spent in his budget. He's the budget holder. He is the one to account for this money, and it will get him. It will not get the minister, even when he carried the highest amount of money.
I hear you.
To a civil servant, giving him 2 billion is too much money. He will not refuse. 2 billion. After all, it is not my money. Me, I am hired to work permanent and pensionable. He's assured this minister will go, another minister will come. You get me? He will keep taking 2 billion. By the time he finishes 60, they retire at 60. He retires at 60. He's one of the richest. When you ask, how much were you getting? You look at his salary. My God. You will say, that's why you see younger people and society in this country are dying to enter public service.
Because they know.
But when you look at their salary, it's a very miserable salary.
The returns are so high.
Very miserable. There is no, you look at the commissioners. The commissioners. Is there anyone earning 20 million? He's not there. He's not there. Even in the PS, there is no one earning that money.
Yeah, I hear you.
But is there anyone who is richer than any of those people in this country? One time I went to withdraw money at Makerere University. I happen to know one of the persons whom I was following in the queue. So we started talking because he had already been served. But I think he had forgotten to ask the minimum balance he had on his thing. So he tells the teller, please tell me the minimum balance. The teller writes, and I was there. I saw, mama. In Uganda, people still keep all of that money, minimum balance of $1 billion plus on his account. minimum balance, and he pocketed the paper. He went away. I will not speak his name, but I saw it. I saw it, and he's a civil servant.
You don't speak his name, you are accomplice.
Even if they ask me, I will not tell anyone. I will ask. I am not an investigator. You get me? This is what is happening everywhere. These people will tell you we are stealing because these people are on top. They are stealing.
Honorable Call, I wanted to hear from you. Is government finally closing in? We've seen different people being arrested, from the Minister of Works to Parliament to, do you see anything different here? It's the same old game.
Well, when I was still working in the NGO, we arrested a white lady from the US. So when we entered the office of former chairman Norbert Mao, because of some corruption of the money that was supposed to come to my NGO, so one of the staff who works with this lady started saying, but the white people are not thieves. They are not corrupt. I still remember the word of Norbert Mao. He said, but the word corruption is English. If there was no corruption in the Western world,
the word would never have been
then the word
invented.
would not be there. They would not have that word. What am I trying to say? I'm saying corruption cannot be eliminated completely, because it's still existing in the US, in China, in the UK, everywhere it is existing. The question is, what is the percentage? How do we reduce the percentage of corruption? That is the most important issue. So I would answer your issue by saying I am seeing a step being taken by President Yoweri Museveni and his government, especially when he said this time is no more sleep. You can see what is happening in Ministry of Work, in Parliament. I hope it continues.
But do you see anything different here? Do you have a feeling that finally corruption is being dealt with?
I see a fight is getting to another level. That's what I can say. But I cannot say it will get finished, because it has existed not only in Uganda, in the African countries, but also in the Western world. You will recall that there were issues of corruption in the US involving one of our ministers. So these are issues which are still there. So I believe the step taken is better, because when you reduce the corruption, I cannot say when you eliminate, when you reduce it, that means you are increasing service delivery to the citizens of Uganda in whatever office. That's why I told you that the framers of the constitutions were very careful. They knew that corruption is going to be there. They started from the national objective, and then the whole chapter 13 and 14 talks about how corruption should be fought in Uganda. So it is something that is, I'm happy steps are being taken, the IGG active, and there are many institutions created. It reached a point where the president was creating institution after institution. You create IGG, it is not working. You create anti-corruption unit in State House, and a lot of things was being, not done well. But we're seeing a step. That's better. Yeah.
Honorable Tingasimile, the CDF has been praised for having dealt with corruption inside the army, and praised by the president, the commander-in-chief. That do you think that there's an extension of what is being done at Imbuya Hill to the other public institutions?
I am not privy to what happens in the army, because largely they spend.
No, but there are people have been arrested
without asking them voucher, receipt.
But
somebody who has money to spend to a tune of 3 trillion without asking him voucher, without asking you say he's fighting corruption. 3 trillion. You don't know where it was spent. How it was spent, you don't know. Then you say you are fighting. Me, I would not use the army as an example.
What I'm saying is that senior officers who have been arrested because of alleged corruption. I know they have not been tried in the courts of law, but the president has praised the CDF for having dealt with corruption.
But how much money has been saved? Because we give them the highest percentage.
That we don't know.
You see, you cannot just use these people who are taking chicken, small chicken from, and you leave with we don't know what happens to 3 trillion classified expenditure.
But for years you sat on accountability committees. You would know, you know people.
I want to assure you, there is no one who has come with a report telling us that this amount of money has been saved, or this amount of money has been being lost in the army. In the army, first of all, they get the biggest budget, 11 trillion, 9 trillion. We would want to know how many trillions was being lost, and now how many are being saved. How many are being saved? If you are going to arrest somebody for taking 900 million or 500 million, when 3 trillions plus are being lost, no, you can't say you are fighting corruption. You can't say. And for the reasons we know, he could be speaking it to promote his son, such that people may think he's the best fighter of corruption. He's the best fighter of corruption. One of his supporters, mobilizers, is indicted for taking cooperative money.
Who is this? Honorable Mawanda?
Yeah, Honorable Mawanda. I don't know how far that has gone yet. That is a charge which is still pending, because it has this lady Geraldine
Sally.
The PS. That case will progress. But he's still the one mobilizing for him. You get me? He's even adding him more responsibilities. And you say he's fighting corruption. We know so many things around this group of his that surround him. Surround him. Almost his father, when we were in Chankwas, he said this is a group of thieves and opportunists. You are you tell me you are going to fight corruption when you have just opportunists around you.
So Honorable Call, so where is the hope here? Because looks like everyone has given up on this fight. Even when they arrest people, the cases never take off. Honorable Tinkasim actually gives the case of Honorable Mawanda. The cases never take off. We're dealing with the arrests in the group of the parliament staff. Everyone is asking, why are they arresting the officers of parliament, yet the one who was responsible, Anita Among, is not even charged? Where is the hope? How come that these cases never kick off?
Number one, in public offices, the politicians, you can charge them for maybe abuse of their authority or abuse of office. But when it comes to money, a politician does not touch money. Never. So the accounting officers are the one responsible for anything that happens in the office. And as Honorable Tinka Samira said, who requests for the money? And who spend the money? And that's the same thing in the districts. I have been complaining about the districts in the country. There are situations where the LC5 chairperson gets only 1.7 million after tax. And the cows get about over 10 million in money. How can LC5, who gets about 1.7, control or manage somebody who gets more resources than him? It is the same situation whereby you force people to start coordinating with the technical team because of the payment for that case in local government. Now, in this case of parliament, which the case is still ongoing, actually we are making a mistake, you should not discuss it. The technical people are the one responsible for everything.
We're not discussing the merits, so I think we're still in the safe zone.
Okay then. Because the key people are, first of all, clerk to parliament. And then secondly, the head of finance. How is this money which you are arresting people for that has gone through them was processed, you must be somebody to approve it.
Yeah. What
If
I don't
you have not
understand is
approved
that whenever money beyond 200 million shillings lands on people's accounts, Financial Intelligence Authority is supposed
That is, these are all areas of concern.
to be notified. What is surprising is that there was
Financial
no...
Intelligence Authority should have been actually 20 million. They ask you the source of the money. Have you sold your goats from your farm? I know my honorable keeps a lot of them. Did you sell land? What is this money for? If it is for activities, you communicate it is for activities of parliament, and that is it. For them, they want to know the reason. So that is, those are all issues of concern. And then it comes to Office of the Auditor General. I know maybe the period is audited. So what is it there in the report of the Auditor General? These are key questions that should be asked. As the IGG comes in to arrest these people, was it also raised by the Office of the Auditor General that there is this money that was lost in Parliament? If it was not there, how do you come to say there is corruption when the Office of the Auditor General has cleared? And there is that problem about Office of the Auditor General is under Parliament of Uganda. I served in the Finance Committee for 10 years. And for the first 5 years I was in the Finance Committee. There is a subcommittee of Parliament that deals with Auditor General. I was part of the team. That is a dilemma that is there in the law that needs amendment. Where do these people who are supposed to be the guards, who audit them? Because there must be also doctors of a doctor of doctors.
Maybe we need to have a conversation on how Parliament can account or be accountable, because in the current setting, Parliament is not accountable to anyone or any institution.
No, that's not true. Because there is a common statement that is made that Parliament can increase their salary the way they want, they do what and all that.
Because you know they can.
Which is not true. Before you
how was the money for the cars increased from 200 315?
Before you increase any amount of money from Parliament of Uganda, you first have to discuss with the president. You will remember what happened during COVID-19 when the speaker decided to give money so that the members of Parliament can go to their constituency and give a helping hand. She did not consult the president. What happened? The members of Parliament were requested to refund all the money, including myself. I refunded.
Even you returned the
Even you returned the
money.
I returned the money.
So the whole thing is...
But Honorable Cole, do you know that the speaker's budget had reached, I think, 200 billion? The speaker's budget. Then you have the deputy speaker. Not 200 billion, I think 20 billion. I beg your pardon. You have the deputy speaker, you have the leader of opposition, you have all the parliamentary commissioners. I don't think that the president consented to this.
I am telling you, whatever amount of money you discussed with the president before increasing it or even reducing it, if you increase the money without the knowledge of the president, you are in problem. So, actually people complain about the budget of Parliament. Sometimes I get also concerned that they have 1.2 trillion. What about other arms of government? You have the legislation, you have the executive, you have the judiciary. What is the budget in those other areas? What is 1.2 trillion out of 84 trillion? That's not something to complain about.
Okay, let's take a break.
What is important
let's take a break, Honorable. But before we do that, if you send money to family and friends in Kenya, Nigeria, Rwanda, or Tanzania, Sendwave Wallet is for you. Hold and send digital dollars, cash out in Ugandan shillings anytime, and enjoy fee-free transfers between Sendwave Wallet users in over 110 countries. Download the app, fund your wallet with $10, use promo code NEXT, NEXT, and get $5 on us. Please note that Sendwave makes money on the exchange rate. Terms and conditions apply. This is a big talk. We'll take a break. We'll return with Way Forward.
Next Radio.
106.1 Next Radio. Congratulations to NBS for having made 18 years broadcasting live, balanced, always, everywhere. And from 10 a.m. every Saturday, we'll be, of course, having the Capital Gang. There's been, of course, a a collaboration of content crossover, and I can see they're still in vibe. But yeah, from 10 a.m., the Capital Gang will be live on NBS Television every Saturday, 10 to midday, bringing you some of the latest discussions on the current affairs. That's the Capital Gang, every Saturday, 10 a.m. here live. Watch the Gangsters break it down live on NBS Television. In the studios this morning, I'm joined by Honorable Anthony Akola and Honorable Barnabas Tinkasimile. Honorable Tinkasimile, way forward. Here is Honorable Kaya Christine Nachumwero. She says, thanks for the show. Let's identify the structural loopholes that make it possible for the money to be withdrawn from the parliament coffers. Let's sort out the powers enabling embezzlement to also safeguard the new speaker. Self-supervision is a virtue and isn't in everyone's character. Honorable Kaya Christine Nachumwero. Honorable Tinka, the new speaker speaks with a lot of vigor and courage, and sort of speaks with a new dawn of hope. Is he any different?
You know, when I was at Makerere University, there is this theory of what we call socialization, where you are raised in an environment where stealing is glorified. He's aware. He was a regional state attorney, and he knows what they do in those offices of killing cases. And he comes to parliament.
The state attorneys kill cases deliberately.
I don't want to go in that area now.
I want to understand what you're trying to
You will follow it up as a journalist. You will find out. I am bringing out that issue of socialization. He comes to parliament, and he's chairing this powerful committee that ends up changing term limit, and each is given 200 million. I can even raise my hand like this. Let him tell the world whether he did not take the 200 million. Was it supposed? Actually, for him, he must have taken more than 200 million.
Which one is this?
The money that lifted the age limit. He was the chairman of the committee of legal, and to bless him for coordinating that effort of bribing successfully members of parliament, and they change the constitution, he's given the minister of finance, of defense.
So the Ministry of Defense was
in
a reward
defense.
to him.
He should tell us. He should tell us.
Are you saying that the Ministry of Defense was a reward to him?
Yes.
For having chaired that committee?
Even this job of speaker is still a reward for having done that good job. For having done that good job.
Up to now, the man is being rewarded.
Yes.
Facilitated the age limit.
Yes, it is still the reward. He's seen as a very royal person, but at the same time, he accepted this money.
What about his boss? What about his boss then?
His boss then was
Rebecca
Gadaga. This is the situation I have told you. The issue of socialization. You are growing in an environment, unless you are in that category of I had Honorable Christine Kaya sending in a message. I know her work method. She's from the background of civil society. Civil society largely, yes, they also steal money, but not so much. Not so much. Not so much. But these ones who have grown in a public service, immediately they enter a big office where they hold, they just root. They just root. I don't want to put my learned friend, senior, on a camera to start explaining himself. Where I have put him actually on the cross. Or in the public, to explain himself. He may not need to do it. This is a show, and he may just dismiss me. But something that I know in this world that you cannot deceive.
You do not have hope in both of us.
Something that you cannot deceive is yourself and God. Those two persons. yourself and God. You can go to the public and say, I will fight corruption. I will fight corruption.
What I want to understand, you do not have hope in Oboth.
Has he returned the 200 million President Museveni gave him to change the constitution?
Did you receive that money?
I did not. I did not.
But you were an NRM member.
Yes, I refused it. I actually was being given much more than that money. Not the 200. Those who went very fast, who were singing, we are changing, they gave them 200 million and they ate it.
Your
Your
colleagues received this money?
100%. There is no one, those ones who, including the ministers.
What would both do today to show you that he's a different speaker? Because he's been vowing on how...
you know, you cannot, what has changed so much? Hey, what has changed so much?
Honorable Call, do you have a way forward? What needs to be done? Is there anything differently that can be done to show that we're in a new dawn?
First of all, we are missing the fight. As I told you, out of 84 trillion budget of Uganda, you are focusing on 1.2 trillion.
Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Why should the speaker have a budget of donations?
That's okay.
Why should the deputy speaker have a budget of donations? Why shouldn't we focus on the 1.2 trillion?
That is okay, because any small fight on corruption is a fight. But my emphasis is, don't overemphasize fighting corruption in parliament, and you're forgetting that
on 1.2 trillion.
1.2 trillion.
And you miss you miss 82.8 trillion.
So you should make sure that you follow the fight in the different departments and ministries of this country.
Yeah.
Make sure you focus on judiciary. Make sure you focus on other areas in the executive arms of government, and it should be a comprehensive fight. Because as it appears now, it is a matter of political game to paint parliament the most corrupt. But when you look at the report from the IGG, from the NGOs, the most corrupt department is not parliament. It is not. So
does it erase away the fact that there is corruption inside parliament?
My recommendation is,
does it erase away the fact that there is corruption inside parliament?
I told you, any small fight on corruption is a fight. And I don't mind whether you're fighting a sweeper or you're fighting a secretary in the office, but it should be a comprehensive fight. Don't focus on the chicken and you leave the big goats and the people who are bigger in those offices. So my recommendation would be, let it be a comprehensive fight.
Why is it that when the talk is about parliament, people want to run away from it, especially if they are still serving?
Nobody's running away from it. Even when I'm telling you now, I'm saying the fight on 1.2 trillion is okay, but let it be a comprehensive fight. Don't overthink about the 1.2 trillion and you forget what goes to the other departments that is being corrupted.
But why would you be concerned about 1.2 trillion and you're not concerned about the 3 trillion President Museveni receives to spend without a voucher, without a receipt? Why?
Those are the powers.
Is it because you fear him?
No, they are the powers of the president.
You media people, is it because you fear him?
They are the powers of the president.
Oh, but
what we also don't...
Where his powers say he cannot be tried in court, but when he leaves, we can try him.
Why shouldn't we talk about...
Maybe that's why he doesn't want to leave.
Why shouldn't we
He
talk
doesn't
about
want to leave because over time he has accumulated issues that he cannot account for in this country.
The national objective on fight on corruption is on 26, Roman number 26, and it says the state must, the word is must, eradicate corruption, abuse of authority, abuse of office by political leaders and public officers. And I think if we go to that national objective and we put it in practice, then we will win the fight. But as I told you, we are not going to eliminate completely, because even in big countries, it is still existing. But we have to reduce and make sure we work hard.
You feel like Parliament has become Parliament has become a face of corruption in the country.
That is what is happening now in the public.
Are we missing the point?
That's why I'm saying we are missing the point. The bigger fight, we are missing it because we are focusing on a small fight. I am giving example from the trillion that goes to Parliament vis-a-vis other departments and ministries in the country. and then the other judiciary. There's a lot of complaint happening in the judiciary. So the focus should be.
But the judiciary is accountable. It's accountable. At the end of the day, there is an office of the Auditor General that goes and audit them. The office of the Auditor General, or the Auditor General himself, is an office of Parliament. Parliament is self-accountable.
But I ask you a question, which you cannot answer because you don't have the information.
Which one?
I said, do you mean there were no audited reports of Parliament? And was the report clear in Parliament of corruption or not?
How shall we know if these reports are tabled inside Parliament?
This is the same thing in all other departments and ministries. There is connivance between the office of the Auditor General and the technical staff in a way that the report can be clean when the things are not clean, or in a way that the corruption amount is reduced when the amount is higher. It happens.
How shall we know?
This is what have been in the report of Parliament of Uganda, the accountability committees. It has been there.
All right. All right. So let's now take a look at what's happening at the Capital Gang. That is on Capital Radio 91.3 Capital FM, and that is the discussion that will be taking place. And I see Oscar Semoyamsoke has already started conversations.
We loved the way he wrote. He was leftist.
Yes, was I leftist?
He was
has he ever stopped?
I think he has. No,
I'm a capitalist now.
He's now a capitalist. If you have shares in Nation Group, and you run a school, and you sell sugar cane, to the Madhuans and so on. You can't be anything else. So after long, I think I've taken like 2 years without setting my muscle on him.
Yeah, and you know, last time I was here with you.
Yeah.
Then I gave you a lift.
Yes.
Then we went to National Theatre there at the compound, and we talked for a long time. Remember?
Yes. I remember.
Now he has a new pickup.
Then he was growing. Oh, I know.
He has a new pickup. Yeah.
He's now an honorable guy. But honorable since the honorable.
He got the new pickup before he became honorable.
Now he's going to buy another one.
Yeah. Well,
a drone.
You are most welcome to the Capital Gang, Right Honorable Afula Ogutu. It's a long time.
Yeah.
I noticed the way you came in, that you're simple still, as you were a long time ago. So it's very, very good to have you on the gang.
It's always good to live the way you have more to live.
Yes.
When you go up at very high speed, when you fall, you can fall very, very.
You have some examples.
I know there are many listeners.
Does he have examples of people
who have fallen?
No, I've risen fast and have fallen with the third.
Well, you know that.
There's your friend from the East as well.
Go to
She's Ofonopondo's friend. So
I know.
He went and visited her.
Strangely, Ofonopondo is a very, very straight man.
He's the only one who went to visit her. Yes.
I see that Ofonopondo is defending climbers.
Yes.
I defend climbers, and I
think they call them creepers.
Yes, and I defend their right to fair treatment.
Yeah, but
so
I also agree with that.
Old men talking. Yes, so we are. I should tell listeners that we are live on NBS television. A lot of people have been writing on X and sending me messages that can we continue with radio? And yes, you must continue on radio, because as you've heard us having a radio chat just now, we'll continue like that. So for the what should I say? For those watching us on NBS, I am Oscar Semoyamsoke with a bevy of topics. I have the one who's training our tongue to call him Honorable Ofonopondo. You're most welcome to the Capital Gang. First one on NBS television.
Camarado.
Yeah.
Is good.
Oh, is good. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even me, Waf is just
Wafula Ogutu is a senior journalist.
Yeah.
This is very good. But you're the topic anyway, so we want to start with NMG closure.
Okay. You know, this guy used to call those who didn't. I think Waf was among the first university graduates.
Yes.
To go into journalism.
And he's stuck.
He would refer to others as quack people.
Quack journalists.
The ones who didn't have a similar qualification. And then he forced them to go to school.
Actually, we began the school in Makerere.
Yeah.
The Tamale Mirundis.
Yes.
And as a consequence, they started a school.
Yes.
The degree course.
Yes.
In Makerere University.
Yes.
Mass media.
And most of the internship was done by us. At our
That's
place.
one of.
And at some point, Peter Mwesige
yes.
was head of mass media. You remember?
Who?
He's now Dr. Peter Mwesige, young
Those are
man.
babies.
Yes, those are our children.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they headed the school.
Yes.
But now you're unemployed.
I'm unemployed.
Yeah.
No, I'm
So when
retired.
you're having a chit chat with Ofonopono before you come into the studio, do you get to
We're
ask him?
talking about farming.
Oh, you're talking about farming, not Nation Media Closure.
No, we hadn't gone there yet.
Now let's go to Nation Media Closure.
Yes.
So let's start with, as a senior journalist here, we start with the W's. What happened?
What happened is actually a long story.
We are here.
We have had a long story with the government ever since we started. There have always been some run-ins from the government because they would have written or published something that they don't like or broadcast. And I'm not surprised about what is going on. Although that this time it was done in a manner that is not right. I mean, it is not even constitutional or legal. Because previously we've been having some letter from the UCC or from the Minister of Information. But this time it came from a different direction. It came from Army Commander. And Army Commander tweeting and closing a media house. That is something you never hear about.
But that's not really what happened. I mean, that's after. On the day itself, people came and switched off your transmitter. What happened? How do you switch off a radio?
No.
A radio station.
But they had surround the place at night.
The place was surrounded at night.
People who were there were surrounded in, and the people who were coming they could not enter. And basically, the army took over the place as if that was a bit of a part of Rwanda or Congo or Kenya or something. They just took it over. And they haven't really explained.
Yeah.
We still
So
don't
they
know.
asked people to leave?
They ask people to leave, and those who are coming go home.
So
And
right now you don't have any staff in that your main building.
Nothing goes on there because
Yeah.
they say they are having discussion with the majority shareholder. He didn't even go with the MD of the establishment, Susanna and Sibirwa, and we got a bit worried about that. We don't know what they are discussing. But Ofonopono maybe knows because this is their group.
His government. Ofonopono is
They
the
are
government
becoming
now.
roguish. They are behaving in some like rogues.
So we're still, first let's stick to NMG to begin with. So we have a young Derek Wandera here.
Yes, Derek.
He usually comes.
Yes.
So he has no salary because you closed before you could pay out
Yeah,
salaries.
precisely. And all of them are like that. They have no salary. I know that this.
How many people work for the Nation Group in Uganda?
I know that the monitor alone, those who are there, are mostly about 300.
300 people monitor
Yes,
alone.
and then with the monitor alone, yeah.
Then you have
The NTV.
NTV.
Then of course
and-
you have the outlets.
Yes.
Yeah, there are quite a number. Maybe I might estimate about 3,000 people could be affected by this whole losing job, losing income, losing livelihood. Yeah.
And they could have had a salary if your finance department was allowed to go and work. At least they would get money.
And things like that, if it was done in a smart way, that you are doing legally, then of course you don't want to inconvenience a member of staff whose child is sick and the salary is in account, and they can't touch it and give him because they are not allowed to go anywhere near, because even if they had money, they can't take money to people's homes. It is something which I haven't understood why the army commander did things like that.
Andrew Mwenda has
And Andrew
said,
Mwenda, who was basically
you are OB.
No, I mean he came. I remember Andrew Mwenda came to my office when he was in senior 5 in Mwiri, and he talks very quickly. I said, this one talks so fast, and we nurtured him.
Yeah.
We nurtured him up to the time he left in anger, and in anger because somebody had questioned how he was writing or how he was producing a radio program.
His
And he was
resignation
very
letter
angry
is
about
a
that.
very good.
Now he's the one who
For
is
me, as a
saying,
practicing teacher, at some point I'll unleash his resignation letter. It is very good for literature students.
We have been reading it recently.
Yes.
Yeah, a long letter. He was abusing the Aga Khan. We thought he was very hard on Aga Khan. But that's Mwenda. But now, things he rioted about are the things he's advising. Because Mwenda is the chief advisor of the CDF. He's advising him to do exactly that. I mean, they want us to sack some of our managers. They want us to sack some of our editors.
I guess it wouldn't be the first time.
That will not happen, by the way.
It is not the first time, and he himself was sacked. So,
that to me, but not happened.
But
rather close.
Yeah.
Than they are giving us.
To be fair, you've done it before. You've put managers down. You let Andrew Mwenda go because of pressure from maybe the state. So, never say no.
But they never told us who should replace.
Just hold on 1 minute. There's a time, the last closure of Monitor was when you had a letter from General Sejusa. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes,
time.
I do remember the one for Moho's project.
Yes,
yeah.
And then that one brought closure onto you. This time it has
they
not
came
been
looking for it, and they never got it.
But it hasn't been very clear why you were closed. But Andrew Mwenda said that on the basis of analysis that 90% of Monitor and NTV News is negative against government. What do you have to say to that?
But you see, Oscar, some of those things to be negative opinion is an opinion. If I criticize your government or what you are doing here as Oscar, you will say I'm negative. But actually I'm helping you. I want you to do it better. That's the whole thing. And if you stick to truth, you know that you are going to collide with those who do wrong things. It could be anybody. As long as you stick to truth and fairness, you are going to collide with somebody who is doing wrong things. Government does a lot of bad things, which they want to hide. And they say, if you expose them, you are anti-government, which is very simplistic. And yet, if they did what you are pointing out, the people would love them. It was a good thing. I remember when I was at the Monitor, I had a discussion like this with Museveni, and I said, no, if I know I'm right, if it's the truth, I will say it. Let the others also defend themselves, including you, Mr. President. And sometimes he did that. Say, okay, quote this source close the State House, and I will do that. But he said something to do with the neighboring countries. Even if it's the truth, don't touch, because it can cause war between us and another.
President Museveni told you that in the discussion.
Yes, he told me that.
He himself.
Yes, he did. And he particularly mentioned the Moi, Kenya. You know, there's a time when there was going to be a war in Ofono's place there. The guns were, Regime went and stationed guns there in the mountains of Tororo, facing Kenya. They wanted to fight 880 Ofono. And he said, Moi is very touchy about it. Don't write about Moi. So, and we said, okay, even if it's truth, it's the truth. So we didn't. But inside here, we wrote. And we would argue with him. The government has taken Monitor many times to court. They have never won a case. We have always won. And they even paid us. But we also paid, I think we paid
COVID.
For COVID story, we paid him 300 million shillings. We paid him. He won. He defeated us.
Yes.
Yes, because we could not prove that he had a special vaccine for his family in the State House. We got a out of New York Times, like a small store, and used it, which was
New York
a mistake.
Times was fed falsely by Honorable Semuju.
Yeah.
No. How do you know that? Don't accuse Semuju is not here.
I know because Semuju had said so first on the floor of Parliament, and then because of his statement in Parliament, New York Times, I think now he had forgotten that he had said it on the floor, and said, "Don't quote me." I know for a fact.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, but you know that one we made a mistake, and sure we had to pay.
Not a lot of people know that. Didn't the payment come with the necessary apology?
Yeah, we apologized.
Front page,
but we never went. But we need to go to court particularly.
Go to court.
Yeah,
it came with an apology.
Go to the microphone.
It came with an apology.
Yes,
and even when they paid the 300 million, the president spoke publicly about it. The president then donated that money to the NRA. And
Very painfully, yes.
Yeah, not very painfully.
Painfully for who? For monitor
as funding NRM.
That's ironical. The monitor funding NRM.
Yes.
So what are you doing for you, the Uganda chapter? Because you've allowed the majority shareholder to come in from Tanzania and have negotiations, but you, the local unit, you have
it's a very
local chairman for monitor and so on. What
it is a
doing?
bit unique situation because we haven't even met the majority shareholder. He just bought. He hasn't even come to report here officially. There's not even a board in place. There's an old board. I was serving in it. I retired last year. We are just there in abeyance. We don't know how to proceed. And the first time he has come is when we are seeing him meeting the CDF.
Have your people gone to Kenya? Have they gone to UCC? I mean, are you taking any action or just sitting back and waiting?
I guess we are watching the situation, and I'm very sure we shall take government to court. Whether they ban the paper or close the whole media house, we shall take them to court. Either this government or the government or my government of PFF. But we shall take them to court because loss of income, yes. Yeah.
And all those journalists that Monitor and NTV have, so what are they doing?
They are just there. They're just there. I wish they, one day I told Ndugurugunda, he was the Minister for Information, so he came to visit me at the Monitor. At that time we were suffering a ban, an advert ban, which the phones have had occasion. With the pike here, the Capital Shop, Capital Radio, they removed adverts from us for 3 years. They wanted us to die economically. So I told him that, Ndugu, my staff here, apart from me, we hate you. They hate you. They hate your government because you want to take away their jobs. For 3 years we have struggled. We have grown. We're up to here. And it doesn't help you as a government to keep it this way because they'll hate you and do bad things about you because we think you don't want us to exist. He laughed. But after a month or so later, they lifted the ban. So we have had that relationship.
Yeah, because the most recent one was when you were banned from Parliament.
Yes, and the president. And covering the president.
And covering the presidential.
Yeah.
But the presidential was a little bit back. But Parliament, by the former speaker, banned Monitor. And I think NTV from covering in Parliament.
The entire NMG they were banned.
The entire NMG.
Yeah.
And then very recently, she has no control over Parliament. Had you returned to Parliament?
Yes, they told us to return to Parliament. I think they both said that we should return to Parliament. But now we can't return to Parliament because
you have nothing. Ofano.
Yes.
Are you settled? Is the first question I should ask you because
Settled?
Yes.
Yeah.
Honorable Kabanda told you that you settled down because you said
you remember
closure of nation media. He said should we continue?
He quickly deleted.
He did.
Yes, he did. Well, the context is Honorable Kabanda said, Mwenda tweeted and said he and the CDF have had a discussion on phone and they are going to reopen the NMG. They as PLU. So I said, is it PLU that closed NMG or it is the government of Uganda? To the best of my knowledge, it is the government of Uganda. So tongue in cheek, I said, if you have closed, if the government we elected on 15th January doesn't exist, please tell us and we settle. In short, I was asking whether there had been a coup.
But there has been a creeping coup. You know that.
The creeping is what I asked him whether there had been a coup and the government of Yoweri Museveni and NRM do no longer exist. And Kabanda, in his usual flop way, said yes, settle. After about an hour, I think he was advised that was reckless and he deleted the tweet. But anyway,
it left me with a smile. He said, he even added a sir for you. He said, please settle, sir.
Sir. Tulia.
You know, in Uganda there are many people who run past there.
Let me first tell Waf to Star Cafe is supplying. Yes, this is the one place you don't have to come with a chapati in the pocket.
Star Cafe. Yeah, come with the mug of his.
I came with mine here.
But no, but we'll have samosa and everything.
Yeah, so
okay.
When O'o stops speaking, you shall see his ability.
Yeah,
okay.
They are in Uganda there are people who run past their destination. And they remember later that they have run past the destination. I think Kabanda is emerging as one of those, but we give him time.
I'd like you and Lydia to invite him here, and we invite him to gang.
Yeah,
so.
Or him to debate with Olofono.
Yes.
They don't sit together.
No.
He's there in the same party.
No. We are actually friends.
Yes.
With the Kabanda.
You are friends?
Yeah, with the Kabanda, yeah.
Oh.
I have no issues.
He's reckless.
Even Lydia said they're friends, so we can have him as a spokesman, and he comes and talks here.
But Monta was founded in 1992.
92, July, yes.
Alongside Sanyo Radio, Capital, and so on. At that time, we were having the NRM, which Honorable Cecil Ogwal used to say, a monolithic dictatorship.
Yes.
And I think in the minds of the people who founded the Monta, they sought to occupy a void of a robust platform to hold the NRM to check.
No, not deliberate. It just fell on us to do that.
I think they found that the country needed a strong platform, and Monta, I think, became one. Over the years, they failed to divest themselves of that role, even after we transited to multi-party dispensation, and they became partisan, in my view. They also became overly negative, deliberately. They also became a witch hunt platform. Those are my words. Those are my words.
Are you really editing there?
Yes, those are my words. If I'm wrong, I think.
You underestimate Ofono.
Yeah, over these.
He knows how to shoot.
Over these 34 years of their existence, Monta has been closed, I think, 4 times.
Yes.
4 times.
Yes.
The last one was 2013.
Yes.
Where I was directly involved.
On the letter, on the project.
Yes, of the Sejusa. I was involved in contributing to the closure of, but I also participated directly with the Linus.
Oh, the MD.
The MD
at the time.
The group, at the time, in the negotiation to reopen.
So remember, just go back a bit. You participated in the closure.
Yes.
What was your role?
We documented instances that we said Monta hadn't demonstrated goodwill, even where there was engagement. Remember, the previous 2 closures were what led to the exiling of Charles Onyangobo, led to others being removed, columns being struck off, and so on. Columns we demanded previously. These columnists should cease. You remember once we arrested Mwenda and we drove him around this town.
Yes.
And he started crying that we are going
yelling.
Yelling, he said we are going to kill him.
But that was not Monitor, that was Capital Gang.
No.
Yes.
No.
You kidnapped him as he was coming to Capital Gang.
No.
You have forgotten.
Andrew Mwenda alive.
Yeah.
It was Andrew Mwenda alive. And
so you did it again for getting him off Capital Gang.
Closures and reopening, we would set conditions, and they would say we shall make good. They do so 1 month, 2 months, then you see they have relapsed. They have gone back to the default position of negativity. In the one of 2013, we demanded several things. Among them, actually, was the removal of, I think, Karinaki. The removal of That's how Karinaki was exiled to Nairobi.
Or Nkutu.
No, Karinaki.
We had demanded the one of Nkutu when we discovered that Nkutu was the treasurer of the former general, the Kizza Besigye election election. We didn't know that we were monitoring his computer.
But then he was at a New Vision.
Yes. And we removed him from New Vision. Then so we said, oh, so Monitor is now employing our adversary. So anyway, we continue. So eventually Monitor, Nkutu, then others and so on. So each time we close and reopen, we negotiate and we have grown conditions. Monitor hasn't lived to those conditions.
What are the usual conditions that you be good? Say
Balance.
Only good things.
For example, if the story is accurate, if the facts are accurate, be balanced, be fair.
You know they make mistakes. One time they Museveni campaign team accused us of unbalanced reporting, and we did stories were done in 1 month. We did them, and majority of the stories have been done in favor of Museveni and covering Museveni. Then they felt ashamed and they left us.
No, I thought I had been asked. So in many of them, as I said, we have demanded change of personnel, change of elements in the editorial narrative and so on. Then you discover and even where they say they have covered Museveni, they select the facts. Quite often, they would pick the tail end or highlight, if Museveni is campaigning, they highlight where he has misspoken. Yes, you would have covered the rally, but have highlighted where he has misspoken, meaning that your intent, you have ill intent. But anyway, the main point is that I think along the way, the government has found that Monta is not honest. In this particular case, I must admit I have not bothered to find out what is the immediate, but I think it is cumulative. I suspect that the CDF has been...
That's what Anrumenda claims, that it is cumulative.
Yes, cumulative. The CDF, if you attack someone's parents consistently, when I don't have the power, I will bleed quietly. But when I get power one day and I am a vindictive type, I may spring on you and get you. I suspect that may be what the spark is. That probably, on top of the things the Monta has been doing, maybe the CDF felt that these people have gone beyond. I've written an article actually saying my column.
Your Sunday column.
Yes, I said maybe Monta needs a shock therapy. If you go to hospital and you're suffering from amnesia, maybe they give you a shock therapy to wake you up. I have also said that probably that's in the same vein that Honorable Miriam needed a shock therapy. Whether it is in the law or not, I think shock therapy in medicine works. I hope that, and even when Monta eventually, that's actually what compelled partly the Wafuro Gutus, the founders, to sell shares to Aga Khan. We had hoped that when Aga Khan, who is a businessman across the world, would prevail over the Monta, because what the Monta does here, you don't see nation media doing in Kenya, focusing viciously on the government, on the president of Kenya. Here they do it partly, I think, which was right. Mr. Museveni, when he came, he found Ugandans running up and down, and he gave a broad latitude. I think, while it is the right of Ugandans to hold their government accountable, I think Museveni's magnanimity in our kind of circumstance need to be well understood, appreciated, and also rewarded, because Museveni, the person, is a person who's very flexible, he bends backwards. But the Monta group, it became worse when a chain of monitor leaders and their former employees, you see, WAF here in 2000, I think one, well, I don't know which, 2002, you're celebrating 10 years, I think. Mm-hmm. You remember we're at that former place, what's that hotel called? It's no longer a hotel now. You go for Karim Heritage, you go towards Chikubo there.
Equatorial.
Equatorial.
Mm.
We're celebrating 10 years of monitor. WAF here was kind enough, invited me.
Yeah.
We sat up to 2 a.m. WAF tried to recruit me away from NRM in that night. We were seated with the Honorable Zindana, the three of us. And you can see, when WAF left Monitor and joined Parliament, he became the most vicious, obstinate. Actually, in our circle, we think that why Monitor is unbending is because of WAF here. He trained the people there, and they have remained with his mental status. While he's physically away from Monitor, his FDC, his opposition stand is what drives Monitor. So I think many people in government see in Monitor were full of good. And you are not even willing to see the small good things NRM is doing because of WAF. We think that WAF is controlling Monitor from remote. And so when we come, I can tell you WAF, we generally come with that in mind. We may be wrong that we see Monitor in your image, but that's what's taking place. It is not the best way to do it. We should go. We should go through the route of the law.
Yeah.
In my view, the government should not be afraid to take the route of the law. We should go to court. If we want, ask court to liquidate Monitor or to freeze certain elements of Monitor. But when we continue now, in this particular one, you see the regulators of the media are also saying they are going to find out the circumstance. And I laughed at Nyombi Tembo. You're the UCC. The mast belongs to you, the controller of the mast, the broadcasting mast. And you're saying you are going to investigate Then the minister is saying, so you see, previously it would be done by government directly.
Yes.
The officers that control the media, they're the ones who would. Now, when we have a situation where it is the army, because the government should send the army or police to do so.
No, the government should not send the army. Send the police.
I mean, this is what I'm saying. And even where we send the army, we should be, as a government, we should be able to justify. So that the Minister of Information, the Executive Director of UCC, does not have to plead. He looked sharp. Nyombi Tembo looked sharp, in my opinion. That he said he's also going to investigate the circumstance.
It was taken unawares.
Yes.
I'm going to come back to you. Don't conclude yet, because I have a young lawyer here, Godwin Toko. He's been here.
Take him to the basement.
No. Godwin Toko, you're most welcome to Gang.
Thank you, Oscar.
Once again.
Thank you, Oscar.
Yes. Have you worked with NMG? I know that
No,
Agatha has.
I used to write articles and book reviews for the Daily Monitor from around 2022. Independently. I would submit them every week, and the book reviews was my idea of saying, let's promote Ugandan books. Who has a new book? We'll read it and make a review. And there are many authors who thanked me, said that you're doing a good job, because it was an unpaid thing, just a passion that I was doing. So that's the closest. And then after some time, I started writing articles, my views and opinions. Then the basement things came around, and I said, you know what? Let me leave these things before. So I stopped writing them.
Well, I guess you've done worse than those articles with the basement, with the Agora investigation. So
yes, they need the method.
In some ways, you would think so.
Yeah.
But you take it up at a higher intellectual level, because
the NMG
you have the us oldies on this side, and now we have a Gen Z amongst us, even with an unruly beard. But if you live in a country, if you have a country that has a poor opposition, it means that some sections of the media will cover that space.
True.
And if Monitor has been covering it, it is not a relentless negative the way Opono describes it. Yes. What do you think?
Yes, I could start with the way Opono ended with saying that NMG in Kenya does not cover Ruto the way NMG Uganda does. Incidentally, just days before NMG Uganda was closed, Ruto had a spat out with a standard nation group, standard in Kenya. Because they've been reporting on Ruto in a way that if you reported about Museveni in Uganda, I think they would take the whole group to the basement. Because they had like Ruto's diary of lies, where they reported Ruto's lies repeated like for a whole week. Now Ruto was so mad. How do I know he was mad? Because he tweeted about it. He didn't send their troops, he didn't send their policemen. He tweeted and said, "You guys." He quoted Gideon Moi, because Gideon Moi, the son of former president of Kenya, is the owner of Standard Media. So he said, you guys, you can do the worst that you're going to do. I don't care. Everyone knows you're negative and all that. And it stopped at that. Now, even them, they responded and said, okay, now let's do it 8 times. It said 8 times a week. Let's do it 8 times a week. Now, I think that is the better way to go about these things. The problem with the closure of NMG in the circumstance, you could even just look at the reporting. I've read an article from the Economist today morning. They'll be like, I don't know, every media has this sort of like a cartel. The world media.
Yes,
yeah, like if you see how they don't report so much about the killings in Gaza as they report about the journalists. You get it? So it's like when you go against the media, they can give your country very, very bad publicity globally. Now, for a country like Uganda that is struggling to get investors, desperate to get tourists with Ebola stories and all that, you don't want to add this. This is like insult to the injury. So I feel like, and there's a better way to do it. That is the way we've always done it. Yeah. NMG is reporting negative stories. First of all, there's a case, Onyango Bo says that you can even report lies. That is okay.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. I can report false lies unless you prove that I reported it deliberately. I should have known. Yeah, because you have to make it so open such that if there is a chance that I'm going to report 3 lies and then in the third I'm going to report some truth, don't crucify me so hard so I don't even report this truth. For all its sins, quotes, NMG has also done some very good campaigns for the country, whether it's about human rights, whether it's about freedom of expression, whether it's about health. Yeah, we live in a country where, Obote's famous independence speech, ignorance, poverty, and disease. These things still affect us to this day. So they've done so much in helping the government programs. So I think the best thing they should have done was to consult UCC. UCC should have gone to court and put forward a case that we're trying to close these guys. And Delemonta should have had, they're not running. It's not like an individual that is going to run and cross the border. They should have had their day in court and been told that we are going to close you for reasons ABC. And then like, okay, can we first pay our staff salary? The staff being Ugandans, like Wandera Derrick, who probably, you can have a sick child and your staff of NMG, and now you don't know what you're going to do with the sick child. So you could have gotten to that point, and then you legally close it. I'm sure that we wouldn't have gotten the negative publicity like we have got. I'm sure that we wouldn't have gotten the backlash like we are going to get. I'm sure we probably couldn't have been sued in future as a government of Uganda to pay as much to the NMG like we are likely to pay. So my own fear with this is that the way it was done, there could be some reasons. Was horrible. The way it was done was very horrible.
Yeah. And the point of Honorable I'm making about a lack of a strong opposition, you are going to have a strong media that's more critical of the government.
We have had that, and from none other than the president. I'm not so sure that the president or ourselves, who service him, that we are overly bothered that negative
stay on the microphone.
Can last long, because it has never. You remember when we were prosecuting the war in the north?
Yes.
Our opposition colleagues would say, why are you doing this? International image, yes, but that's going to be temporary. The closure of Monte, like I've said, this is the 4th one.
Yes.
Each time we do it, say, international image. And now you want to use that as a blackmail. Of course, yes, we should be mindful how we do things.
Yes.
And I concede quite often we seem not to, we don't, when elements in the government agencies and so on take decision, I don't think we bother so much to see the broader ramification. And that's why we tend to come from one negativity to another, so that kind of the government of Uganda is perpetually in some kind of crisis management. Before I went to Parliament, I was part of what we call strategic comms for the government. Some of the things we complain about is, for example, how we communicate disease outbreak. We tend to be alarmists. This Ebola, before you finish Ebola, there's Marburg. Previously, before you finish Marburg, the police is talking about, or the army is talking about a terrorist cell burst in some place, in such a way that it makes Uganda appear as if it perpetually has. Until recently, when we were told that actually some of that communication was motivated by financial gain. You know, there are many.
Some claim those things, but some of these things are international protocols.
Yes,
so you shouldn't blame the medical world too much.
But how do you communicate?
Yeah.
How do you communicate? Are we the only ones who have those epidemic, those things breaking out? In Tanzania, there, do you hear? I think it depends on how do you communicate. So that's our issue with in the strategic comms. That was our main concern. When there's a disease, when there is a terrorist, whatever, how do you communicate?
Okay.
So that you are not alarmist and so on.
Go to work.
I think it would be good, obviously, if we avoid this altogether. We take the administrative review, the administrative approach would be the best. But you see, in Uganda, there are places that people do things as if they own the whole world. So
this is Ofonopondo seated in Ofonopondo's chair. But Waf, concluding this particular topic. So presumably, Nation Media or Monitor NTV have not filed their accounts because by June 30th, your office is closed. So what happens to penalties?
There was actually a time where, you know, that one of the advert Waf was referring to. I think it was actually written by Rubunda when he was the Minister for Presidency, the one of suspending.
Stay on the microphone.
It was mostly Pike and the Young.
No. But when because this one of suspending advert was formal. It was written.
It was in the cabinet.
It was in the cabinet, and it was in the writing.
Yeah.
But there was a time actually when we were so pissed. We said, can't ask these guys to pay all their taxes? And you see whether they will pay.
But these days they pay.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
But now they cannot pay the tax.
No, I'm saying, you know, when a government wants to squeeze you, can you take that legal route, but with the ill intent?
I know they came even the returns, the papers we didn't sell. Yes. They counted them and said you sold them as pay tax. These are 60 million shillings. They said, but the papers are there in the store. We never sold them. No, you pay.
Or we can go to your creditors and pressurize them so that
I know.
Those are better ways, in my view. Yeah, better ways to run
sending their soldiers.
But you see, Oscar, the Ofonopondo said it correctly. How at the time we found it, there was no opposition, there was no formal opposition, there were no parties, and the things we were doing, criticizing government, eventually they saw us as opposition. Ofonopondo says. They see monitors Wafula, but Wafula was NRM. Actually, when I was in the monitor, I was the only NRM mostly, and I always said I am hanging my NRM at the gate inside the Mojona. I even tell Museveni, I will tell him my NRM ends at the gate of monitor. There I go as a professional person. So it is, and now when I go to the monitor today, they don't know me because all the people who are there are young people. They came. I retired in 2004 for goodness sake. Yeah. That is how many years ago? 23 years ago.
I mean, went in 79, but we still have a minism.
So it is not true. It is not true. It is just the creed, the editorial policy of the monitor of sticking the truth and being fair and advocating for people's interests that it makes us collide with the government. If the government was doing good things, when the government does good things, we praise the government, we support them. So it is not true what Ofon is saying. And then Ofon is saying we focus a lot on that he will just try to justify why Mohoz would go and close the monitor because it attacks their family. For goodness sake, who doesn't know in this country that the family of Museveni is the state of Uganda today? They do everything, even Ofono here.
Now you're speaking like a politician.
No.
Yes.
No. I'm speaking as a journalist that the state of Uganda is Museveni. Like the King Louis XIV. He's the state, like Mobutu was. He's everywhere in our lives. He's in our homes. He's in our pockets. He's in everything.
The people that are most disturbed by it, you'd say, are opposition politicians.
Yeah. So
and now you've worn your PFF hat.
Yeah, but you see,
by the one of COVID, if you don't know, the Monte journalists who wrote that story didn't just quote the Wall Street Journal. They actually called me. That time I was the spokesperson, director at Media Center, and I said the president has not taken. The president and First Lady and their family, they have not taken
The shots.
They didn't even quote me in that story.
Who? The New York Times?
No.
The monitor.
So that's why I'm saying there's ill intent in some of the things Monta done.
No, maybe they thought you were lying because you're supposed to lie to the government. Yeah.
The other things he has lied actually.
Okay.
No, he lied for the government, but that's his job.
Okay, print lies for the government, but don't
But you must lie, the government must lie.
Don't permit me completely.
That was amazing. Let him get away with that one. As you've said already, when you publish that, you are punished for that, and that was dealt in a correct way.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you also throw a jab, finish the whole jab by stating as it is. So because he's saying
when they paid the president that 300 million, and the president said he had donated to the NRM, to the best of my recollection, Monte didn't write that story.
I'm sure I read in the Daily Monitor.
We wrote.
Yeah. I don't remember.
No, we wrote.
Yeah. I'm sure
we wrote
they wrote about it
and even apologized.
But usually courts, those are conditions. When they say pay this amount, also add an apology.
No, this one need to go to court.
Ah.
Go to court and we settle out of court with the judge.
Okay.
But
continue the conclusion.
This point of the first family is that
I
remember when Janet Museveni was going to politics, I was talking on Radio 1, and I said we had respected Janet, was our mama for the country, but that she has gone into politics, now she has undressed herself. We are going to treat her as a journalist. I mean, as a politician.
As a politician.
Yes. So we and that has suffered that. So what has happened is that even just the way the CDF behaves, Oscar, he abuses the parliament, dismisses them, ignores them. He abuses the judiciary. He says if you come bring their papers, I will arrest you. And indeed, he arrested Lukwago. He does that not because he just a CDF, because we have had several CDFs. They didn't behave like that. He does that because he's the son of the president. And if you point that out, then you are against the family, which is not right. But they have never said anything wrong, lies about the family. They have never said that, for instance, they own the Capital FM, or that they own the road, the dam at Jinja. We have never said that.
So what's the future of, in conclusion, what's the future for NMG in Uganda?
The future of NMG
and I think Gordon Toko put it right that even Kenya has
there's going to be sanity will return. There will be sanity, and I hope that they are going to see that the monitor hasn't made anything. If there is any story that they are going to point out that it was a mistake, monitor was willing to retract that and apologize. But you can't go to 100 stories, which they say monitor has said so, and we don't know them, and every story the monitor does, they have win for it. They have a basis for it. They have a primary document for it. And they have somebody whom they are quoting. They don't create things. And the government is just, they have this fixation about this Wafula. I know, and I said the other time that when we began the monitor, they saw us as letter O's. Waful or Bogutu or Bo or Uma. These are all northerners. And our first story was Obote's health or something like that. I don't remember the headline, the main story. So they said this Obote story. Kiseka, the Vice President Kiseka, he had a program on the radio, on Luero. He used to talk about the monitor, how his Obote has given us money. And one day I walked to his office and asked him, whom did Obote give the money? You give us, you tell me, because me, I never got that money. So he said, no, but you're always writing also wrong things about us. So I said, a Vice President, you are saying wrong things, and Minister of Internal Affairs, you are saying wrong things because we write wrong things about you. So I think that monitor is a very useful tool for the country, and they will realize that it is useful for them, and it has helped them a lot, helped Ugandans, helped the government to correct. Sometimes they correct themselves. Yeah. We about to go for a break and change of topic. So coming to you, Godwin Toko of Agora. Finally, there's fusion with Agora work, especially regarding Parliament. What did you used to call them? Parliamentary exhibition.
Uganda Parliament exhibition.
Uganda Parliament exhibition.
Yes.
So again, when you have a Guto in the street. By the way, when you said the O's, all my northern friends especially call me Oscar for, say Ofonopondo from East. Guto from East. Oscar from Oscar. Yeah, so.
I like that. I should become Otoko.
Otoko, yeah, you'd fit. So let's start with the what.
Are you son? Are you Otoko son? No, I'm not. I'm not related.
Yeah. Well, so what is it? What are the recent developments now?
The most recent development, I think, came on Thursday with the arrest of about 8 senior staffers of Parliament, not MPs, but technically.
I should tell you, by the way, I have a friend of mine, is old generation, Gen something. He says, that young man, he talks sense, but he talks very, very quickly.
Yeah, I don't
know.
And
I told him he has to talk very quickly because whenever he's talking, Ofonopono is waiting to interject quickly to smother him. So
it's not only your friend. Even my wife says I talk too fast.
You talk too fast.
But thing is, they arrested 8 staffers. Let me talk a bit slower. Yeah. Senior staff of Parliament, the Human Resource, the Director of Communications, Mr. Chris Obore, and others. And I know that they were charged in the court and they were remanded. They will come back to court next week for their bail application.
You're not speaking like a good lawyer. They are charged with?
They are charged with embezzlement and money laundering. So they're going to come back to court next week for their bail application. The sums of money are insane. If you compute them in dollars, $1 million, someone had 4 billion Ugandan shillings, another one had there's some 14 billion Ugandan shillings mentioned. And for me, this is good. The last time we were on the gang here, we were talking about the former speaker, Anita Mongo. And I was saying that it's important that they have their day in court. Because sometimes it seems like, but it may seem like a duck, but actually it's not the duck. Yeah. So so maybe we'll have the Obores prove that they were not who Agora thought they were. And together with the Daily Monitor, I think Agora also did its work without any malicious intention. Yeah. We just saw that there was something and that wasn't adding up here. Yeah. Because what we know is that these junior staffers, and there are many, the list we have could go up to about 24 different staffers of Parliament who are receiving money on their private individual accounts. So if you remember the case of the former OPM accountant Kazinda, in that Kazinda case, government passed standing orders to the effect that if you're staff of the government of Uganda, the maximum amount of money you can receive on your private bank account should be 5 million. So let's say you're going to the field and all that, because it was similar stuff. A lot of people are receiving monies that they were using for things that were not adding up. So because of that, this was very, very surprising that people are receiving monies to the tune of 8 billion, and people would withdraw these monies within a day. Someone withdraws 500 million in the morning, 500 million again in the afternoon, and then he goes and withdraws $1 billion in the afternoon. The Financial Intelligence Authority and the procedures in Uganda. By the way, I credit the government of Uganda for putting in place procedures. At least those procedures are there. They are not always...
Has Ofonopondo had that one? That you have a positive in your repertoire.
Yes, we all have positives for the government of Uganda. So that's why we still stay here. So the government of Uganda has very, very robust payment procedures that if someone looked keenly, there will always be that person X, that X pressed this button, X made the requisition, X did ABCD. So because of that, if you get the vouchers like we did get them, thanks to whistleblowers who had access to them, that gave them to us, you can always expose and say, on day X, someone called me, so for got this money.
I'm going to go into Agora work, but before we get there, these people have been arrested and sums have been put against them.
Yes.
Where is that information from?
I think
because I do not think they will happily quote Agora.
No, they will not happily quote Agora. They will not happily quote Agora. But yes, the government has better capacity to investigate than Agora does. Agora is what? 15 staff?
Yeah.
The government has what? Thousands of staff. The IGP,
15
the CID.
staff without money.
Yes.
Let's stop for a quick break, and after the break, we'll investigate all this properly.
Sure.
I have refused to do both. We are listening to radio. Then I've had some messaging, people saying, TV is good, and so on. So, most welcome to Gang, Honorable Lydia Wanyoto, formerly Speaker of the Capital Gang, and now Minister of State, Public and what?
Public service.
Public
Just
service.
public service.
Public
Straight,
service.
yes.
Okay. At the end of the show, I will thank you for raising monies for
It's
teachers.
part of it.
I will do that at the end of the
Yeah,
show.
teachers and others.
Yes,
I bring you
okay.
greetings from Umbale City. They are watching and listening to the gang.
And very smart in your yellow wish, Musuti.
Yes, coming from Munyonyo where we are closing our induction today, but I also have other commitments.
Right.
That's why I am what you see.
Very smart. So,
Thank
good.
you.
Arrested 8 and potential 20, and you're saying government had its own information, and if they had their information, will there be a case against them for misprison, for having information and not raising it until Agora did?
Well, that's up to them. First, let's talk about the number of the arrests. So I said it somewhere that if the government of Uganda wanted to arrest people in connection to the haste and nepotism and everything that went on in parliament, it would go into the hundreds, because there's also the recruitment of about 500 people who are recruited in a very, very irregular manner around the same period of time. But yeah, so I'm sure the government has information. Like I said, we didn't invent the wheel. We used information that government has access to. Whistleblowers gave it to us. So what you see
what motivated you to start the parliamentary exhibition? Because I think you'd come from medical.
No, it was potholes.
Potholes.
There was the potholes
Yes,
exhibition,
potholes.
and then the parliament exhibition. Interestingly, when we did the parliament, then we went to medical, and the speaker was very, very happy with the medical exhibition. He was thanking us on the floor of parliament, saying that the Ministry of Health should listen to what people are saying with that. And then he turned to their house, and they were not very attentive to listen to what we were saying. But the thing with the parliament exhibition is that I don't know, but I've not lived long enough to see many parliaments in Uganda. But the last 5 years of parliament have been something very, very. It's been like a drama series. There was a lot of irregular things going on, the way business was conducted. You could see some of these videos, the outbursts at members of parliament. But now also, in addition to that, there was increment in budgets that didn't seem to match. So let me give you one example. For instance, Olanya becomes speaker, and the office of the speaker at that time has a budget. Honorable Jacob Olanya, the late Honorable Jacob Olanya, becomes speaker. At that time, the budget of the speaker was about 3.7 billion Ugandan shillings. And it's like, this budget is so high, we need to cut this budget to about 2 billion Ugandan shillings. And true to his word, he started the path, because he cut the budget from 3.7 to about 3 billion in the first budget that was passed while he was speaker. Then, unfortunately, he passes on. God calls him to heaven. Now, when God called him to heaven, the next year, the speaker's budget went to 4 billion. Now, it overpassed what it was. Now, by the time the parliament ended, I think the budget of the speaker's office had gone to 19 billion. This is one office. So you could look at the budget of the Director of Communications of Bore's office. It is shot with similar astronomical figures to, I think, about 24 billion, if my memory serves me right.
But again, I need to remind you, there was nothing illegal in that one.
There was everything.
If your budget has been taken to 19 billion and you're spending on budget,
Yes.
what is illegal there?
So there is, you see,
It might be immoral, but it may not be illegal.
no, it can be illegal, actually. It can be illegal. So if you're the one, if it was the judiciary, there could be questions. Oscar, remember when they arrested MPs who were accused of conniving with Uganda Human Rights Commission to increase their budget with a cut to be taken off? So you're looking at an institution that is soft budgeting. Yeah, if it was maybe the judiciary, they could be like, yeah, we are not the one in charge of the budget. But in this case, it is you, but you're the guy in the kitchen. You're having all the pieces of meat, you get it? So it can't be that that you're just serving as everyone else. So because of that, they created something called corporate social responsibility. I'm sure Capital FM does corporate social responsibility as a company. Give back to the community. It even helps with the taxing. Now, the problem is that Parliament is not a corporation. Parliament is an institution that should budget for the government of Uganda. As for my last check, government of Uganda pays budgets about 18,000 Ugandan shilling per kid in UPE, capitation grant, per year. 18,000 is on the higher end. Now, what Parliament should do is urge government, work with government to increase that figure upwards. Now, what they would do instead is that they would say, we are going to find some schools and buy for them computers. Now, how do you find those schools? How do you choose who to give that kind of money? That is where the corruption sometimes lies. So
within the procurement.
Yes, the idea of corporate social responsibility of Parliament was a big anomaly. Mind you, it wasn't there in Kadaga times, it wasn't there in Ayume times and the years of say Kandi and the others. It started with Anita Mong's Parliament. But the thing with it is that sometimes the monies would be picked and the monies would not be delivered to do the actual work. Let me give you another example. So you have Arua Regional Referral Hospital, which is a hospital in Arua town, that Arua City now, that should, from the record, the interactions I had with their staff, they're supposed to have about 28 expectant mothers per month from the time they were built, their capacity. Guess how many it serves about now? Last I checked, it was having about 600 expectant mothers per month because of the DRC, South Sudan, and the whole West Nile region where the population has really exploded. Now, the speaker, when the West Nilers went to the speaker and said, we don't have electricity, people are dying, and that was true, that people are dying in the hospitals because of lack of electricity. So the speaker said, I can't guarantee that you're going to get electricity tomorrow. But what we can do is buy you solar panels for the hospital. Very good move. They even clapped on the floor of Parliament. There's an MP called Atima who moved the motion. They thanked the speaker and all that. Now, they signed for this money. Obore went on the NTV and said, we are sending the money. You guys, you're very selfish. He was talking to us when we were doing the exhibition. Imagine if you followed the right procedure. How many more children will have first die before these things are taken? That was 2022. I went to Arua in 2025, last year, early 2025, to find out, maybe they bought these things. Maybe we are the wrong guys. Trust me, there were no solar panels in Arua. 2 years later. So when he came back and we put out a campaign and said, these guys quoted all the things Obore said, these videos, and said, Obore, you didn't even buy these solar panels. You are just stumbling about. Then they sent about 90 million, but I'm reliably informed that the actual money that they had budgeted for it was about 250 million, but they sent about 90 million. Better late than never. Little, but yes, fair. The money eventually went. So
90 million can buy a lot of
it can buy a lot of stuff. But okay, it also means that someone has pocketed what? 160 million somewhere. There's some question mark for that money. And so, there was a lot of things. And it was not just a Arua hospital. It was different schools. They would say, we're giving money to this church. The church would never receive the money. We published these things online. So it was budgeted corruption. It was there. It was endemic.
So this discussion would not get us into contempt because you published this information already.
Yeah. If they come for you, say that, man, I'm quoting Toko. I know the vouchers I have. I'll hand them over to them.
Well, the arrests in Parliament, were you surprised? And I'll ask the justification for asking you if you were surprised, because they didn't bother to prosecute the speaker. And the manner in which he was arrested perhaps will not help the prosecution. So have you been surprised about these arrests and immediate prosecution?
No, I'm not surprised. First of all, the story has been going on for a while. I'm also not surprised because I know Parliament of Uganda is one of the most corrupt institutions in Uganda.
You were there, so
I know. They are never accountable. I give example. When I was LOP, there was no TV in my office. I had got spoiled, so I asked for a TV to be bought. And they bought a TV, which is like one in my home, which I had bought at 800,000 shillings, and they bought it for 3 million. And then I wanted a camera, the office, and they bought me a camera of 15 million shillings. A camera of $1,000. Then I questioned, this is...
What office was the buying office, the purchasing
There's
office?
a purchasing office there.
Oh, okay.
A very big procurement department there. And most of the suppliers of Parliament are MPs and directors and the speakers. Those are the people who, apart from the hotels, even the hotels, the MPs represent hotels. Then they say pre-qualified. You go to a hotel where they are charging 10 times the price, there's a cheaper one, but you must go that one. So, and the Parliament budget is never seen by MPs. Parliament doesn't have audit. You never see the audit. And I was LOP and I was a commissioner.
Pardon? Oh, what's it?
That's a former commissioner of Parliament, Parliamentary Commission, and LOP is telling you that members of Parliament don't lead of opposition in Parliament. Members of Parliament don't see the budget, don't know the budget, the amount of money that runs Parliament. Members of
At
Parliament.
his time.
Even now, members of Parliament. That Parliament is supposed to be audited by the Auditor General.
And
There has never been.
they don't audit them.
The report of the Auditor General on Parliament, that has been debated on the floor of Parliament.
It is a very bad institution.
No, not just the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Not just the last 5 years, no.
Yeah, so I wasn't surprised, but Oscar, I'm not excited about these arrests. And thank you very much, Toko, for what people have done. Agora has done great work, but Parliament has got only 1 trillion of the money of 82 trillion. We are looking at this squirrel and not chasing the elephant. How do we use the 82 trillion? Or 72, whatever, those a lot of money. So Parliament, because they represent us, they are supposed to do the oversight, they are supposed to care about everything, so we focus on them. But the money involved is very miniature, it's very small. And I was telling somebody the other day that how government hires buildings from individuals. If you follow that alone, landlords is a PS of agriculture hires a building of a PS health, and the health hires a building of agriculture. It's a cartel. They share. Most of these huge buildings in this town, apartments, whatever, they belong to civil servants, and actually civil servants or public servants are the people who take money of government, maybe 60%. The ordinary people get very little money from there. I wish the Agora was focusing on a more deeper thing like that, so that we look at this more broadly than just looking at Parliament with their.
Some people would say you have to start somewhere.
Okay, it's a good thing. It's a good thing we have started there, but we should not get excited and waste a lot of time on that. We should expand that. The MPs are here. The minister now, her hands are tied. She can't do anything. She can't even talk some things. But Ofono is there, and I trust Ofono. By the way, Ofono has changed of recent. he is being very good for Uganda.
Yes.
But I was worried he might go to the basement. I hope you don't go. But please, you expand this thing, the fight against corruption. Expand it. Don't just confine to Parliament there.
We're going to go to Lydia before we go to Ofono. But as she comes onto microphone, I don't know, people on gang we have with these arrests, we've had both sides. So we've had Chris Obore here on gang, and he has gone another way. We've had Lydia Wanyoto Mutende on gang. Now she's gone
another way.
That
Which
is
other
going
way have I gone?
Minister. So you and Ofono are in.
You have joined PLU.
Yeah, she has, yes. You are in Parliament, and then
if
last week,
if you want to identify PLU, by the way, the Uganda, the Kakumu.
Yes.
That's the.
You better get me one.
Uganda
flag.
You should get me one. But Lydia, I've
been with these things
are you a PLU?
for a long time.
But I'm telling you, they are PLU
Lydia,
who are undercover.
I know.
Yes.
But is being a PLU member a bad thing?
Yes, it's a very bad thing.
How?
Don't divert topics. Don't divert topics. Lydia, you're on microphone.
Yes.
Let me save you from Ofono. So you're in Parliament this week, and then you see people coming in, rounding up Chris Obore. Remember?
They were not rounded up from Parliament. They were actually summoned.
Okay.
To the IGG, the IG of Inspector of Government Office, which is, by the way, across the street.
Yeah.
And they were given cups of tea.
With interviews.
As they were being interviewed, and then they were told, by the way, you are under arrest.
Which is the right way of doing things.
But I'm saying they didn't go to Parliament, no.
Okay. Yeah. So, Lydia?
So this week we at Munyonyo. We've been in Munyonyo. Even today, we are closing today. But
this is the NRM party.
No. Parliament of Uganda.
We
are all there. In Munyonyo, we are doing the induction being trained on how to be member of parliament, to understand government
How
policy.
to eat properly, don't hit the plate.
Don't put the
So
fork on the
I'm
right
there
side.
with OO. Even actually, I'm sorry I came late because I sided with Munyonyo this morning. Then I was caught up with Oscar's jam. But Oscar, you see,
Now it's
for me, I
attributed to
speak
me.
with a lot of clarity of mind, and my spirit is settled. Because when I won elections in January, I began thinking about what type of parliament I'm going to work under for the next 5 years. So one of the issues is that we wanted to have an audit of parliament so that we can start from the beginning, and we're like, we are not going to beg people. Let's contest for leadership. And you remember, you have now told me I'm a former speaker of the gang, but that's where it started from. Because we've been hearing these stories, and they were like hearsay, because I had not been a member of parliament. I was an insider. So I was like, let's now get in there, open up and see what is this. Because we have to be role models. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot do oversight if you do not have systems yourselves. So when I speak today, I think people can say, yes, I think and it was very risky in January to say you want to be speaker. I don't know whether you agree with me. People say, you want to waste 5 years? How are you going to manage? That was because the first thing the leadership were doing is to create fear. How would you ask for an audit, Waf?
You don't.
How would you?
Yeah, only the speaker. The speaker's word is law.
Yes, it's the speaker's word is law. And we dared to say we want to change the leadership of the Trade Parliament so that we can look at this elephant, which says that by the mandate of the Constitution, you do oversight. But you yourselves, nobody oversights you. And then there are spillovers, because accept it or not, there were spillovers in the public that this particular one of the 11th Parliament, it seems like it had gone overboard. There were some things that you think, is it an excitement? Is it malice? Is it a negative campaign? Or is it a reality? You see, yesterday someone told me, we were in Munyonyo, that actually the World Cup is going on, but we had a delegation of 20 VVIPs who are supposed to have gone to represent us
for 40 days.
At 40 days, at a cost of 100 million. I don't know, but that type of expenditure. So, Oscar, I want you to tone down on you are saying these things are legal. I am a lawyer, you know that very well. We do not legislate, we do not put everything in law. There is what they call emotional psychology, there is what they call maturity, there is what they call responsibility, there is what they call being rational. These you do not legislate. You don't do these things. That's why you grow into leadership. Would have never gone to school for 18, 19 years, go pick skills. There are things you do not legislate. If you know very well that in Mulanda, there is no health center you cannot begin spending money for World Cup of 2020 delegates when you are the people that appropriate
Is
the
it
country's
true,
budget.
or was it just a
Now, those
social
are the
media?
things I wanted
Yeah.
to be speaker, so that I can speak to the real documents. And we wanted an audit. We wanted a forensic audit of Parliament, because some of us have not been there, and we didn't want to be, first of all, to be unfair to our colleagues who had been there, because you cannot call to be a leader and then you do not behave like you are actually, because the leader goes beyond the laws that are before you. I want to quote Prince Nachibinge on one ED statement. He said, if you go to an office and there are laws that you think undermine goodwill and public good, please undo those laws. He said that, so that you don't hide under the law to be part of the bad story of our country. This country has resources, but we come from villages. I come from Bale City. I cannot talk about we have a maternity ward or a surgical ward in the regional referral hospital of Vumbali at the center of the city, which all knows very well. He has been passing there, coming for work, talk shows, media, but also campaign, because we vote for him. But around that Bale Regional Hospital has been there for 8 years, because there are no funds to complete a very vital surgical ward as a referral hospital of the region. So I cannot be speaker and I give we approve appropriate Ministry of Health very little money for regional referral hospitals, yet I know that we can actually repurpose. The word is repurpose. Now I'm learning. Repurpose our budgets. So Oscar, when I hear about these arrests, I feel sorry, because we should have been, I believe in preempting. Me, I wanted us to have an audience so that we can start from zero. The past is gone, so painful, we start afresh.
Well, I
but I don't know whether we shall have repurpose government's expenditure. We do not make much money in our country. URA is only raising, I think, about 42 or 44 trillion. Our real budget is to 84 trillion. We are going to borrow. We are paying. We have domestic arrears. We have real work to do. And if we do not mind about the needs of our people, we should do away with post-mortem. I like what is happening. Maybe it will work, but it's not going to solve a problem, because that money, it will be difficult to recover. I've also been in circles and spaces where sometimes recovery is more expensive. I don't know whether I'm speaking what you know. You spend more money to recover, but if we can now speak more, you are more elder now, if we can help us to put more mechanisms and energy in preventive, you catch somebody's hand before they dip, before preemptive, it will help the country than post-mortem.
Toko here said that Uganda government has very, very good systems that can do that. It's just that we don't give attention to them.
The systems are there, and I want to agree that the systems work. But the systems, I've listened to the IGG department before. They talked about being understaffed and being under-resourced. You know, sometimes it's a statement, it is systematic. You are chasing somebody that has stolen $1 trillion, your budget is 500 million. How will you manage? You just tell me that.
Can I just say something there, Lydia?
So there is that. The systems.
I think we actually wrote to the IGG during the exhibition, the very first one, and said, there is this.
The capacity.
Yeah, do you want to look into this? And they never replied to us. Now, these guys stopped stealing money from the Bank of Uganda, and then they went to the parliamentary circle. So the more recent haste, which had a lot of money, because my own thinking is that they were.
I am actually a member of the parliamentary circle, so we have issues with our executive also now.
I think they were getting money for campaign.
I'm
the speakership race, and the sums were even much more than the old sums within a couple of days. So she's saying something that if they had acted early enough, like $1 billion is lost, can we now act at this point? But I think the IGG in Uganda, to be fair, it's one of those institutions that will wait for direction to act. Yeah, it's like that cat that chases the mouse. When you show it where the mouse is that it should catch, it doesn't act on its own initiative.
Oscar, corruption is a broad matter, because if we give you a job and you also just leave your court and don't work, that's also corruption. If you influence the corruption, but if we are dealing with the budget, if we are focusing on corruption in terms of money, it's very simple to track, because the budget circular starts in September. So if we track from September and follow the budget process, and we disabuse budget corruption in terms of votes, in terms of which money is going where, and planned activities, we look at the national plan and follow the money is released every quarter. You've said how the systems are good, I also know them. Money is released every quarter. The first quarter is beginning this month. So we can track that and make sure that we preempt. It's very difficult. It's almost impossible. You begin now having fights and personal attacks when you do post-mortem. You are now speaking about the individual staff of parliament. Now it has become personal. It has gone to their families. But if we stopped it from going to their accounts, they would be safe. And our money would be safe. So let's do preemptive.
Honorable on your house.
I have been in that parliament since 1991.
As a reporter.
As a journalist, many things.
And as a spy for
but not, yes.
Yes.
I've retired.
They never retire.
Spies never retire.
No, never retire. They have too many things inside.
Yes, so I was in NRC, I was in CA, I've been in all these parliaments. We're now doing the corruption has been there, but they change form, and now it is now the magnitude.
The magnitude.
Uganda is now making a little bit more money. In 91, 92, when Maswa Nkalubo was the chairman of PAC,
yes,
I would see members of parliament towards the end of the committee meetings, they go to the corridor
For envelopes.
to well lay.
Really?
Yes, to well lay accounting officers, chief accountant, senior accountant, cashiers, permanent secretaries. And because at that time we didn't have CCTV.
Not even mobile phones.
Not even mobile
No, but
phones.
of information of honor. This budget you are which is starting to a few days ago.
Yes.
An MP told me there's 2 trillion budgeted by MPs in various MDAs, which they will share.
So
2 trillion, you are going to share it.
and
No, you are the minister. This
money,
one, you will
the
share.
MPs would of course and get money directly.
Yeah.
So many of these things are not new. When I was government spokesman, ED Media Center, because I controlled the vote. In the ICT committee,
You had no money of an
now I'm telling you, I had money, except it was not for charm. It was not mine to eat. And if they have not a budget for a car, I cannot divert. A member of a committee, even sometimes the chairperson will come and say, let us add 6 billion
For the committee.
to share between you and
Committee
me.
members, yes.
I turned down. I said, if the treasury, if Ministry of Finance has given me this ceiling, there is no way I can justify an additional 6 billion. If they have given me 6 billion, how do I justify doubling it? But also, how would I withdraw that money? Maybe I was naive. How would I withdraw that money and give you? For example, if you demand from me 2 billion.
You went for a seminar.
You know? So, now when this Agora began, I actually I picked my phone and called the speaker, Right Honorable Tamong. Why had I called her? Because her response was, we don't account to hearsay. I said, my sister, you have to account. The media is one of the avenues through which we account.
I remember you said it here.
Yes, then somehow they went, her and Tayevo, they went to the president to report me that I was not supportive. The president stand them away and said, go back to that old man. He's never vindictive, he's never petty. Go and explain to him. Indeed, they came back to me. They are the ones who confessed to me. I hadn't known because the president didn't tell me. But the one who came back to me and said, we had reported to you to the president, but he has advised us to come back to you. So, then I agree with the WAF.
You pause on the so we have a quick break and return after the break. This is the first time I've had to introduce myself all along because of television, of course.
Now your face is on television.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Such a problem.
So, I agree with the WAF that this is systemic. Look at offices that have money. Civil servant, siphon. It is worse, of course. One time we had an embarrassment. The president, one of our colleagues in State House was wedding. As usual, the president extends support. He had given this guy 5 million. But I had asked somebody to deliver it. When the guy went to deliver, he delivered it too.
Yeah.
Even at that level?
Yes. Unfortunately, the president actually came for that wedding at All Saints in Nakasero. After the service, the president was walking out. The couple were at the exit. And the president, in his usual chico, said, did you get my 5 cows?
5 million.
He calls this a cow.
My
1 million, he calls it a cow. He said, did you get my 5 cows? He said, no.
We got 2.
I got 2. Oh, my God. So that's how bad it is.
Yeah.
But of course, for Parliament, because Parliament is the body that asks for accountability, surely we should do better.
Yeah, we should measure.
And I am going to raise it with the Honorable Speaker. I hope we can build convergence in Parliament because that's where the problem is. Members of Parliament look at their selfish interest. Because yes, we have elected Obote now. But how can we allow him to do things the way he wants? Because he's going to give me a trip. Because I know he's giving me one. How can we? That's where
he will be my guest of
people have
honor.
been compromised. But I hope we can build convergence
On the minimum standards, at least.
so that we ask the Right Honourable Speaker that Parliament looks at Parliament, particularly the 11th Parliament. Because can you imagine that this 12th Parliament is listening to these things as rumors? We have not got official
That is true.
communication. What's going on? The Speaker's office was labeled a scene of crime where we both sit. It is now a scene of crime. I don't know if it has been vacated because we don't know when the investigation is still going on.
And witchcraft.
Now, there's no witchcraft. But so we are going to ask for an inquiry in what transpired in the 11th Parliament, so that we chart a way
So that
forward.
there's a record and recommendations and lessons
Now,
learned.
particularly the group of NRM, the leaders in the commission particularly, and the chairpersons of committees are being appointed by the NRM top leadership, government top leadership. So even when somebody is at fault, it becomes difficult to remove them. I think we can ask again that NRM position, we allow, for example, members of committee to elect their own chairperson. So that if that chairperson you think is compromised, you can remove them. As it is now, it becomes very difficult. Also, I have read the Administration of Parliament Act. The power given to the Speaker there is too much. The Speaker can actually create offices. The Speaker can do many things. And it simply goes and reports to the Commission. The Speaker has a heavy say in who becomes commissioners.
Yes.
So if you know that the Speaker put a word for you,
You have to scratch your back.
yes, how can you hold them to account?
To account. They will not
It
account.
becomes difficult.
But how are you going to change those things?
I'm saying that building convergence. No, I'm talking about
We know
building-
how you vote.
I'm saying
NRM people.
No, building convergence in Parliament.
You
That
think
thi-
it will happen?
That no, it can happen depending on the approach. How would you navigate other vested interests? But it is now collective benefit if we build with that convergence and we change direction. How can we write law and we say that the Auditor General audits Parliament and then reports
He's the staff of
is the
Parliament.
staff of Parliament?
Yes.
Throughout, to the best of my knowledge, since 1996, we have not had any public debate on the Auditor General's report on Parliament, on the floor. Hands over laid on table, and then that's all. Then the Park of Parliament
Is it in the public domain,
Auditor General's reports are in the public domain.
including the one on Parliament?
Yes. It looks at the government in general.
generally. So, if you take the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament cannot debate because the Speaker or the leadership of we will say this one don't. You have had the leader of opposition saying even the budget of Parliament
He had never seen it.
is not open to is not known.
It's not known. The Speaker.
How it is the Minister of Finance who proposes the ceiling of the budget. I guess in the course of the budget cycle, they interact with the Speaker, with the Commission, how much money is available. That budget is sanctioned by the President, because the President is technically the Minister of Finance. How could it be that the budget of the Speaker in this financial year moves from 4 billion to 19 to 28? So it was sanctioned at the highest level. What justification did the Parliamentary Commission give the President to justify the movement of that money to that magnitude? Even to say, maybe they were copying from the President that since the President has a donation, which I think is fair enough, top offices should be able to have some money, some interest, which they can. But what is the limit? Maybe this is the lacuna that Parliament needs to define. When you say you have given the President, you have given the Speaker, you have given the Chief Justice, these constitutional offices, interest to donate as part of their outreach, as part of their public relations, what items should they? You remember in this last parliament, I was shocked when the speaker gave in Zambia private hospital 4 million shillings. 400 million.
Yeah.
While government entities, government health facilities don't have that. So when we give the speaker, when we give the chief justice this donation money, what are the items, what are allowable?
The Rotarians, we've been promised $1 billion.
What is allowed?
Yes.
In that
It will not come.
In that parliament.
It will not come.
No.
In that parliament.
Was it from the person
We don't
or the
want
parliament?
it. We don't want
In
it.
that parliament.
You
Oscar,
never said it then.
We are going through induction. We have been reliably told in doing the presentation that members of committee, for example, you are 45. You go and sign, every member of parliament on that committee goes to sign for money for 5 days. We are going to Arua. At the time of boarding the bus, they are 15.
Oh, 10.
Oh,
10.
10.
Or 5, yes.
They have signed money,
Yeah.
but they have not gone.
Yeah.
As a
And they don't return the money.
Yes, as a consequence, what has happened now to defeat
The oversight over that.
to defeat the cheats, they're saying first go, and when the report comes and when you have signed, you have proved that you went.
Then you come and
now,
sign.
now members of parliament have to look for money from elsewhere to go for official work.
And then get repaid.
Now, if a member of parliament doesn't have money, then doesn't go.
They are not honorable
So-
anyway. A member of parliament should not be in a situation of not having money.
It stifles the work of parliament because why would I pick my 5 million to fund parliament, to fund myself to go to Arua? Why should I?
Why shouldn't you?
No.
But why shouldn't you? Because at the end of the month, you will get something and then you can be refunded.
No. They are doing that not because parliament doesn't have money, but because they want to defeat the cheats.
Yeah.
And that must be corrected. There are members of parliament, you remember we discussed here, people who were, somebody supposed to be in Nairobi and is simultaneously in Saudi Arabia. How does that happen? How does that happen?
Where are you going?
No.
It's,
we have just started, but I really hope that we can holding leaders to check. If we don't, as they say, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts.
we're going to change topics here.
Even this one of Sako, because Toko seems to say since this money came from Sako, but they were borrowing. Because it was easy.
Not borrowing. I think it was simply passing through there.
Passing through the circle as a conduit.
As a conduit.
Yeah.
But even if you remember this thing of the service award of the Mpoga Yaria, you know that one? They actually got that.
400 times 3. Yes.
That money, when they awarded that money,
The service award.
Parliament, they had not got the release. And they said, but those commissioners were so thirsty. They could not wait for the official quarterly release. So they said, but there's money in the circle. So they went and borrowed from the parliament circle. Because they thought if we delayed it, maybe somebody will get will leak it and we shall not get. That's how they did it. So we need, I hope in this parliament we can have members of parliament can build a convergence so that we hold the leadership of parliament in the first place.
Back on track.
I hope we can do that.
Well spoken, Honorable Fonopondo. We wish you the best in those endeavors. But I should have said something I didn't say at the beginning. The shirt and the jacket you came wearing and the hat.
Great.
These things need investigation because they are. You look at the trendiness here of Fonopondo and the Gen Z Toko.
He has changed.
He has changed.
Yeah, he has changed.
Yeah.
And the shiny bald head.
Oscar, I retired from public service, civil service after 36 years. I'm a pensioner.
Yeah.
I'm now getting, I grow trees. I sell trees, and there's no tax there.
Trees, they don't buy fashion. Those who grow trees now buy fashion things.
Yes.
I don't think so. He has daughters. They're the ones who buy those things.
I have received my first paycheck. It's a little bit better than where I have been. So I can afford it.
We like this elderly MP. Yes.
By age, I'm supposed to speak the truth.
Yes. There are others your age and more that have not been able to do that. But let's start with you, the experienced politician, WAF, Miriam Matembe.
Miriam Matembe. We are going to Miriam Matembe.
Yeah.
I want to say something about.
You say it
just briefly.
A minute, and then you're going to the
but
Miriam. There's Miriam Matembe.
You talked about.
Then, hold on, WAF. Let me frame the question, then you go straight into the other one as well. So there's Miriam Matembe and Timothy Karegeya now. So their situations seem to be different because Miriam Matembe disappeared, and then after that was brought into court, wailed in court, and wailed in court. Some people say then the next day released, and then some people, some malicious people, they are saying then she was cured immediately after the bail, and then you have now our veteran Timothy Karegeya was also taken, then overnight was bailed, previously been refused bail because his brother was too young at 55 years old, so, and then he's had bail. So you begin on that topic after making the 1 minute comment.
Thank you very much, Oscar. There's something you said about legal stealing.
Legal and immoral.
No. You said when the money is budgeted for,
it can be legal.
It is legal.
Yes.
But I think it is stealing. When we had just gone to Parliament, we went to this induction you are going to, but we were Committee on National Economy, and a deputy director of budget, I think it was a girl from Tororo, and for the Minister of Finance, she came and told us that actually you people, the MPs, authorized stealing. And she gave us an example of the Minister of Health.
You mean Keto?
Nyapendi. Yes. The Minister of Health, the previous budget, they had approved an item of vocational staff. Vocational staff, then the unity, there were 90 people. And then in this way, the money was 1 billion. Right? Now, you not look at it.
Stories everyone will be talking about. The drama gets deeper with gripping series, local movies, and characters that feel like home. The updates get faster with live coverage of events, breaking news, and real-time moments as they happen. The conversations get bolder with powerful interviews, current affairs, celebrity sit-downs, and voices that shape the nation. From the newsroom to the live scene to the stories that move us. July on NBS television is fresh, emotional, urgent, and unmissable.
Format should be changed. Parliament should look at the budget format of government. There are items there which they just filling in here out. Nobody analyzes one by one and see whether it is necessary or not. If you take the issue of donation, why should the president donate? Why should the speaker donate? Why don't they budget those things? And why should, it is something that they can do themselves. We can decide that a fund is for people who are Namwandu. They say, yes, Namwandu fund. Then you give, everybody gets Namwandu fund.
Where I work, that's how we remove miscellaneous budget.
Yes, so that you are
can
specific
budget for everything.
And there will be no way, because
but time is not an answer.
No, I'm sorry. When Anita came and centralized all the money, every department had their money. And the chairman had authority on how to spend, or head of department. She centralized all that, and now people began benching at her place for money. That was a whole mistake. Then this thing of traveling. One day we were traveling training at IMF in New York, and we are graduating after 10 days of training, and the Ugandan MP arrives in the hall with her suitcase. She was just arriving from Uganda, and she graduated. But at the same time, she was also playing football. I mean, some match in Nairobi for East African. So she was at the two places at the same place, but she was nowhere. So I went to commission. I said, no, people must always bring the tab for returning, going, you live in the country and returning, so that we see where you have been. But it is done in the parliament. So briefly about Matembe and Tim. These are my friends. Arresting people is okay, but how do you arrest them? Tell them why you are arresting them, and don't keep them incommunicado. Don't just take them and they disappear. And I only hope that you, honorable minister here, and you, honorable my MP for all the Eastern region. I didn't vote for you, but you are representing me very, very able, I hope. I really think that the state, actually I'm very anxious. I haven't been listening to Museveni for a while, but this evening I'm going to listen to Museveni. I want to see what is he going to tell us. Everybody's on Bunkenke. They are arresting people. These days, even I hear something on the window, I say, have they arrived? We are scared. Even when you are walking on the road, when you are driving, you are looking in the window, mirror, is there any white or black drone following?
But now you are ready for any eventuality.
No, me, I have my mattress in my car. So I think that Matembe, simply because she challenged the CDF, and Matembe is always honest person. She just talked. The CDF, the what he would have done is to invite Matembe. Because he had also been abusing how she's ugly, she's what, she's stupid, she's an idiot, she's chicken. You don't call the people chicken. So
you're saying he should have done what?
What he should have done is to have a conversation with this old woman. Why, Mama? Why are you doing all this? And Matembe will justify that. Because 12 of them committed the crime against each other. Mm-hmm. Yes, they do. They did. And they would say, okay, I think this will cease fire. And that is it. But you don't take it.
By the way, when you ask her, she tells you.
You don't. The one of team, they say, okay, you said here you are now broadcasting on the TV.
Yeah.
But Tim was broadcasting where? Where does he get the license to broadcast? Suppose Tim was in Australia and broadcasting in Uganda. Where would he get the license from? It's all bullshit. It's not something that should be. There's a law that you can use and get out with it. They will not. Tim will still win that case because he's just talking on TV, on internet,
on social media.
And now today, as it is, you can't control.
He really, Tim does not insult people.
No, he doesn't. Tim just brings you facts, so historical facts, and makes his point. That's all.
Just a happy minute about Parliament. In my view,
the trouble with when you're on TV, you cannot extend the time.
We need to deal with the conspiracy of silence in Parliament. You're talking about the money,
fear,
but there's recruitment.
I saw that.
Yeah. Unlawful, illegal recruitment, creating positions that don't exist. Can you believe? Probably 30% of the former members of Parliament have their relatives, including children and wives, ministers.
Yeah.
Can you believe?
And they're being interviewed on Sunday, on Saturdays.
Can you believe ministers having their wives in Parliament as incredible things?
Okay, and
so
Matembe,
we are going Matembe. I agree with the. We have been having debates with Matembe, but we confront each other, and that's where.
Yes, you went to court.
Yes, she went to court. I floored her, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I defeated her. Yeah, I didn't ask for payment.
That was honorable.
Yeah, but I really believe that the politics. Let's be like the president has been over the last 40 years. The president even tells you of my spokesperson, leave those people I have my mouth.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing President Museveni cannot respond to. So we don't actually need to over defend him.
When I was writing articles, I once wrote that he can insult you better than you can insult him.
Yes, so
He has
I think
collection.
we need to, the leaders, we need to learn to have the thick skin. And I don't
Lydia?
I think the CDF actually could have driven to Mama Maria,
Yes.
I don't think he would have turned them.
Yes, should have been excited.
And that way, the CDF earns better credit in my view, because
Lydia?
we are the ones who are saying we have for this long. UPDF has shown a different direction,
Okay.
a good one.
Lydia on Matembe and Kalejira.
I'm happy that she's out and she was smiling and walking on her 2 feet. So,
But I didn't know that she can also fear. I didn't know.
Hey, is there anyone who can't fear?
I think the spirit can be strong, Oscar.
We all fear.
I
Everyone
think the
fears,
spirit can be strong, but the body is always weak. The body betrays us. So she's out. She can now have her day in court, but on bail. For Timothy, I've been reading many of his articles. I hope that he can also have his day in court and answer his case, so that he can also live his life. Yes.
Godwin, you're the Gen Z. Close this out.
Both are very
I'm sure
respected.
you're going to start by the method.
No, yes, both are very respected citizens. To me, I know Matembe, we speak a lot. Same with Timothy, we speak a lot. So I think again to the method. Timothy told me yesterday, because I was in court, I was part of the team that got him the bail. He told me that he was in Fort Portal. Can you imagine, you have UPDF driving all the way from Fort Portal to abduct someone in a country where there are no ambulances to pick sick people? Yeah, that kind of wastage. So they could have let him come back, summoned him. You know, they summoned me last Friday. I was at a police post in Kawempe to answer for money laundering. Agora's work is money laundering. So I think they should have done that.
We heard of that one. That you have $1 billion? So every day we are looking at you different.
They say 70 billion. I wish I had it. So, like, they should have summoned him. He would have sat with them. And my big fear is that with things like what's going on with NMG and accusing people like Timothy of broadcasting without a license, there's a danger that then you have people going underground in this digital age. So you know Timothy, you know where he stays, you know Matembe, you know where she stays, you can control them. You know NMG, you can control them. When people go underground, you should, I think it was Sierra Leone, someone went underground, they were called Adebayo, started spewing vitriolic that almost put the country on the verge of a genocide, because they were then doing it anonymously, and they could do it to the extent that otherwise people who are known would never do it. So I think UCC and all these point charge, some of these laws are very archaic. Basically, if I have a Twitter account, that is broadcasting. Now, that law was made for the era of radio, television, newspapers, pamphlets. You can't use it now, surely.
So thank you very much, the listeners of the Capital Gang, those on radio and those on television. I hope you've had a good experience. I've seen some people sending back photographs of me. My own mother has said that Lydia is Anyirida. That's what she has said. So this is the exposure.
Thank you, Mama.
Yeah,
Papa is
another one has said that is not that old.
People begin to question the age. They call him Elder or Moto.
Thank you, Star Cafe. You've been very lazy on the issue of the samosa. You had what? 2 only?
This is what we wish in the era of Museveni and post Museveni, that old people should look like me. You don't have to be
thank you so much appearing on the Capital Gang.
What is like he's 23.
He's on a parliamentary pension.
No, I'm not on a pension. I served one term, no pension. It's also another silly thing. That if you serve one term,
thank you so much.
There are so many people who are
Toko, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am
What
Oscar
about my
Semoyam
pension
says-
story?
Yes, we still have a minute. Very quickly, finish in
So the
just say
public
teachers,
service-
you have money.
The Public Service of Uganda has announced increment in salaries effective this financial year, which began 2 days ago. So your paycheck, like OO is saying, by the end of this month of July, you're going to have new salaries.
And since you're beginning
and these
work,
are deputy town clerk, division town clerks, assistant commissioners, principal officers on salary. Now they use
and the teachers.
all teachers, arts teachers.
Thank you so
are
much
now
for
on
public
board.
service.
And mortuary
Thank
attendants,
you, Lydia. I
cemetery
am
attendants,
Oscar Semoyam
operators
Soke,
of the
and I
ferries,
shall
all
see you
those.
next week. You know,
Thank you.
listeners have been saying I shall see you next week, and they were challenging, but on TV I might as well say I'll see you next week. Thank you.